Hello, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. And we are doing a Substack Events edition. We're going to talk about how to do your Substack, how to create events, how to stream them, how to schedule them ahead of time. We're going to pull it all apart. We're going to have a bit of fun. We did run an event earlier this morning, and that one didn't go so well. And I might delete that, but we're going to run it again. We think maybe the daylight saving thing was a bit confusing. So we've run it a couple of hours later just to see if anyone's here. And they might not be. It does look like, hopefully, it's worked. I'll just see if the show has worked. That's the most important thing. I'll play a song. I'll play the LinkedIn theme song. There's several versions of this. It's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in.
It's not a new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list, like I'm born to win. I used to chase the algorithms game, scrolling through the noise just to stake my name. Endorsements, buzzwords, suit and tie claim, but I was losing touch, it all felt the same. Then I found a space where the words run deep, where the inbox opens and the real ones speak. No likes, no cloud, just a loyal crowd. Now I'm writing loud and I'm feeling proud. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a new grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list like I'm born to win. It's not a new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Long form love, let the stories begin. No clickbait spin, just soul and skin. Substack, where the real ones live. They said bring a playbook, play the part, but I'm not here to network, I'm here for art. No humble brags or corporate flair, just me and my thoughts laid out there. I still show up where the suits all go, but I save my fire for the ones who know that depth is rare in a world so loud. But I found my voice and I found my crowd. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Crafting my lane with a fountain pen. No growth hacks, just discipline. I'm not a brand, I'm a citizen. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. No elevator pitch, just where I've been. From post to kin, we build and spin. Substacks, where the real ones live. Real ones live. They knows like sparks, not just for show. No chasing trends, just letting go. Discovery's fine, but loyalty's gold. I'm not for sale, I'm here to hold. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Writing my truth from deep within. No filters thin, no polished grin. Just real talk, let the trust begin. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. A rebel feed with a writer's spin. No algorithm can box me in. Substacks, where the real ones live. Hey, real ones live.
Hey, that's part two. We did a show earlier today and no one came. We had a couple of people listening, but no one came on stage. So that song was called It's Not LinkedIn, but I'm all in, because I've had quite a few issues with LinkedIn and it's pissing me off. So I've found a couple of different solutions to this. And what happened last week, actually this week, Tuesday, I think, we ran another show, another song called LinkedIn Feels Like Homework. Now we're really starting to think deeply about where we're going to put our content. Are we putting it on Substack? Are we putting it on YouTube? Are we putting it on LinkedIn, on Facebook? So I'll play this one while I get settled, and I'll get a few people up to talk about what they're doing. But what I'm doing now from now on is Substack and YouTube, and LinkedIn if it works, but it sometimes doesn't. So I've got to find a solution.
LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow, scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm here still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that loud with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume, add still figuring it out on the work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test, smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Yeah. LinkedIn feels like homework. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
LinkedIn sure feels like homework. It does. It's hard. It's boring. It's quite unimaginative. But look, what we're going to do today, Lynn, while we're waiting for other people to talk, I really, really, really want to pull apart for you your trip and how you can manage that. I know you're very excited about creating all this content. Let's have a chat about what that might mean for you, where you're going to put it, and how we can brainstorm ways while I got you, where you're going to put your content, because you're now going on a very cool adventure. You're going to be seeing some great things, and it seems a shame just to keep that to yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. And I'm gonna have some insider, little behind the scenes scoop on what to do. So I always like insider tips, and I think that that will be worth sharing, and I think everyone will appreciate those as well. But I really, here's what I'm thinking, Keith. So I know that I'm going to take a lot of pictures. I know I'm going to do a lot of video footage. So I'm going to do kind of a mixture. I think for Facebook, because, really,
Yep.
and that's my least favorite, it, it's not my favorite place to hang out, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
Well, it's
So,
quite possible that's where your people are.
well, I mean, I do get a lot of response from Facebook. So what I'm going to use that for are my picture posts, because those
Very
do
good.
really well. So the pictures I'm going to post in Facebook, but my video, the lives, I'm going to do that with Substack. And, and I can even send some of the lives to Facebook because it allows you to do that. You
Yeah.
can do the YouTube, you can do, Facebook. So I'm that is what is really cool. And so I'm going to do a majority of my lives on, well, I think all of them really from Substack.
Yeah, because you can
Because
do
that,
it from your phone on the app, can't you? Let's play
yeah,
this out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're going to take a lot of photos, and you're
Mhm.
probably going to put those on Facebook and Instagram, maybe.
Oh yeah, because it goes mine posts to Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. So you're going to take a lot of photos on your phone because phones take great photos. We just went away for the weekend for 4 days, so we know exactly about this. And my wife, what she does is she sends it to Instagram first,
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram automatically posts it to Facebook. I think it does
Facebook.
it in that
Yeah.
order. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
she,
right.
so Instagram, she every day we go away. We're going out for dinner. We see animals. We go for a bushwalk. We see a waterfall. We go to the cliff. We take these scenic lookouts. She takes 10 photos and creates a collage because in Instagram you can have up to 10 photos, and that becomes like a little folder, a folder of
Mhm.
day one.
Yeah.
And there's food and there's animals and there's nature and there's selfies, and then that automatically posts to Facebook. So there's two pieces of content right there. You've got the photos anyway, and this is very, very, very relevant because we're talking about repurpose 3030. Hello, Mike. Jump in if you want to speak. We're talking about Lynn's imminent trip on a cruise. We're talking about how to create content. We're creating. So the first step is photos from your phone sent to Instagram and Facebook. Now they're going to go off because people love photos of traveling. So that's right there. You're just going to win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think so. Mm-hmm.
And then as time allows, you're going to use the Substack app to create some live streams of what you're doing. Tell me what that might look like.
Yeah, well, and it's really easy because I have the lot go live on my phone, so I can go live, and I'll probably break it down, kind of like I'll do a dinner, I'll do especially one of the formal nights. I love to do those, so I'll do a formal night for dinner. I'll probably, well, I will do this because this is another thing I really love. I really enjoy is to go to each of the bars and try one of their specialty
Oh,
drinks.
cool! How many
Yeah.
bars are there? How many is that going to take you?
There's a good bit. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a few that are kind of, well, you'll see because it's going to be really exciting. There is one, and that is a very common favorite. I'll mention this one. It's an Irish pub, and that is it's called O'Malley's, and that is super super fun. It's like you really do get the feel of being in Ireland,
Yeah.
because they've got the Irish band, and it's really fun. So that one, and all of them will have their own special drinks, and but I'll try each one. It's my job to test it out for you guys.
Look, I really love this. I love this because
It'll be fun.
I don't know this, but I'm guessing every bar would have a slightly different angle. But I mean, there's no point going to the 10 bars and having the same drink, is there? Each bar is going to have a different sort of signature cocktail, or is that how they do it? They they
Yeah,
focus on
yeah.
different types of drinks.
Right. And there's in the center and the piazza, it's more Italian based. So it would have, some, you might do a Campari,
Aperol
spritz.
spritz, maybe.
Yeah, an Aperol spritz or Campari, either one. And, something like that. And then there are, for the guys that like to have bourbon and cigars, there's a bourbon, so they'll have that. I'm not a big I like bourbon around the holiday season. I'm not a huge fan. Now, I do love tequila. Tequila, I
Ah,
love. That's my favorite. Margaritas, yes. So, but there'll be a lot of different ones. It'll be neat to go in and try. And with Star Princess, I'm sure they're going to have a totally different atmosphere, and so I look forward to checking all that out.
yeah,
And then of course your dining experience. So breaking it down to different the dining, casual dining, formal dining, and letting people know what they can expect when they book a cruise, because sometimes when you may think this is included, all of the drinks are all included, but they're not.
yeah.
So you have to get that drink package, and that's something I want to people to know about, because there's also levels of that package, because you have a premium package and kind of the medium package. And if you're gonna have quite a few premium, drinks, then you definitely want to get that package. And especially if you like special coffee, and you have kids or whatever, and they want sodas. You have to plan for that, to add that package to it.
I love what you're saying here. This is very, very important. And hello, Therese. We're doing a little bit of an experiment here. What we're doing is we're using Restream, and we're sending the file to Substack Live, and then the replay will be on YouTube. If you love YouTube, you can go to YouTube too. No one seems to do that for me, so I don't promote it. But there is the replay on YouTube after the event, and the main event takes place in Substack. Now, the great thing about Substack, and this is what we're talking about creating content. Substack has 50 million users. It's a site that has lots and lots and lots of cool features that allows you to write, make videos, add photos. It really is a bit of a one-stop shop. And Lynn, you've mentioned that you're going to start doing your live shows here. Tell me what that might look like. You're going to use your phone. Are you going to interview people? Are you going to talk to camera? How are you going to do it?
Well, now I would love to interview some of the like the vice president, or if I could get a hold of some of, because this is also, which I have not mentioned, but it is also my national conference. So there'll be a lot of people there. There'll be suppliers as well, not just for cruise but land. So a lot of people in the travel industry. And if I could snag one of them to do an interview, that would be golden. So I'll scope it out. I'll try to do that, because I think that would be really good to get someone that's been in the industry for a number of years.
This is exactly why I like to plan ahead. But we travel a lot, and there's no use turning up somewhere you've never been and thinking, oh shit, I better buy a camera. Look, that's a good look. That's a really good lookout. Haven't been here before. Let's just go into town and buy a camera. You've got to prepare. So the fact that we're preparing means that if you bump into the captain and he or she happens to be free, you could get your mojo and say, hey, look, can we just do a quick thing on Substack? You might not have heard of this, but there's 50 million people there, and we got a bit of a following. And you will develop a bit of a sort of reputation. So, what I notice is that a lot of people who've never taken photos before, they get to a spot. This always happens to us. And you're right there and they go, oh shit, better get my camera out. How do I work it? What does that button do? And then it takes them about 10 minutes to work out how the phone works, and the moment's gone, right? So by having this preparation and saying, look, I'm going to get Substack ready, because you will bump into people as you're at the conference, right? You're going to bump into.
Oh, yeah.
So if you bump, hello, Robert, jump in if you want to speak. If you bump, and Robert would know a lot about this. I've been to conferences
Mhm.
And you're not sitting there talking to people. You bump into them when you're having your coffee break, or you bump into them on the way to the biscuits,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I know people that go to conferences that don't even go to any events. They just hang out in the cafe because that's where all the cool people are. Right? So, but imagine, this is very, very important. Imagine if you are not only were the sort of person that promoted other people, but you interviewed them, right? So
Mhm.
if I was this is what I would do if I was doing this, and I did it actually when I went and met my friend Chocolate Johnny. I would take photos of people, I would interview them, I would give them the kudos, because this is like a one-time event, once a year, once a decade sort of thing, isn't it?
Mhm.
Like, you may never see these people again in real life.
Right. Yeah, it's once a year. Yeah, correct.
So let's pick up on this. If you haven't done, have you done some Substack live streams yet? Have you got it working? Do you want to
I've
do a bit of?
tested one, and I will be doing some this weekend. I will do it pre-trip because I have the pre-cruise trip. So I'm also going to be doing it in Fort Lauderdale as well, because that's of course where the ship will board, is in Fort Lauderdale. But I will do some lives from there, and in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if you've ever been. It's quite beautiful. It is
Yeah.
kind
Is
of
that where the boat goes from? Is that where it leaves from?
yeah, it is. It's where it leaves from, and it's beautiful there too. So I will do some footage from there, because I want people to also understand, especially now with flights, you really do have to fly out a day ahead, um,
Yeah.
because of delays. You have to do it.
Yeah.
There's just no way around it these days. So while you're doing that, why not make a bit of a trip out of it and enjoy, what's around you. So I'm going to also show what you can do in Fort Lauderdale as well.
And I mean, let's pick up on this. We always stay 3 days either side, but do people really turn up like the day of the flight? Do people do that?
They do, and I'm sad to say I've even done it myself. I
Wow.
have, and I barely made it, Keith. Barely. I was the last to board the ship, and I was just by the skin of my teeth got on board. Yes, so I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Look, we went to China in 2005, which is pretty funky, and like there was this Latina couple from LA, spoke mostly Spanish. They were from LA, but they didn't speak much English, and they arrived. We went to China, and on the first day, like we all met at night the night before and had dinner, and then the first day we're going to the Great Wall. The reason you would go to China, like one of the wonders of the world. And the
Mhm,
first day we went to the Great Wall. We got there 3 days early because it was in Beijing. We wanted to have a look around.
mhm,
First of all, you got to get over jet lag, because we suffer massive jet lag in Australia because everything's so far away. Second of all, you want to get there early enough to sort of get your mojo, and you want to get into your hotel and have a good sleep, and then you want to meet people having had a rest, right? Anyway, so we all met on the Saturday night, and then says, "Oh, where are the Latinas? They didn't come. Oh, they've missed the train. They've missed the plane. They're not coming for 2 days." Well, we're going to the Great Wall tomorrow. Yeah, well, they're just going to miss that. Well, they missed the part they were coming for. Everything else was sort of like a bit of an add-on. They missed the Great Wall. They went to China and they missed the Great Wall. And I said, "What happened?" "Oh, well, mate, I had to work. I just, went straight from work to the plane, and I got here like I was supposed to get here about 2 hours early. We should have had plenty of time. We were going to get here 2 hours before the group meeting. That's it. That's how much time they allowed, because they're busy."
mhm.
And I'm thinking, well, you just stuffed it. Like you just killed your holiday. We'll make up for it. We helped them out and we got them in them up, but they missed the Great Wall. They didn't
Gosh.
see. They went all the way to China from LA. They missed the Great Wall. And what are you doing? Because we ended in Hong Kong. Like, we went from Beijing to Hong Kong. They had to go back at the end. They flew back there to go to the Great Wall. So these sorts of discussions are very important. I can't believe people turn up on the day that they fly. I just can't believe that. I've
Yeah.
never done that.
It's definitely not the thing to do. I promise. Do not do it.
Yeah. So the reason I'm really excited about this, and please jump on stage if you got the link, and if you're following me on LinkedIn or Substack or Facebook or any of the others. What I'm really interested in is not necessarily what you're going to talk about, but how you're going to do it. So we've already discussed that Lynn is going to take photos and put them on Facebook and Instagram. There's two pieces of content right there. We're also working out that you're going to use your phone to do live streams on your phone on the boat.
Yep.
Because there's going to be really cool people there doing this. Now, the reverse might also be the case. Like, and I want you to open yourself to this. You could be interviewed by others.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do the hard work. You could say, well, look, I'm in the zone. I'm happy to be interviewed, what we call pod guesting, or I'm happy to do the interview and I'll do all the work. I'll put it on my account and I'll send you the video and I'll do all the heavy lifting. So this is very, very, very cool. And a little bit like getting there early. You're going to do a couple of practice runs, yeah?
Yes. I will be doing my practicing for the pre-cruise portion. Yes.
Yeah. So the cruise leaves. You got to fly, obviously, to Fort Lauderdale, yeah? Is that
yes.
in Florida? Is that a Florida town?
It is. It is.
Forgive me. I mean, I don't live in America. It's so far away. But that's a town in America. You've got to fly out. That's where the boat leaves from. So you've got to fly in. That's an adventure. You're going to hang out in Fort Lauderdale for a day or two. That's an adventure. You're going to get on the boat. How long are you on the boat?
5 nights.
Wow. Yeah. That's plenty, isn't it?
Plenty. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
It's a perfect little Caribbean cruise. So we'll go to Turks and Caicos. Well, it'll be Dominican Republic first, and then Turks and Caicos.
Yeah. Now, where are you putting your when this is very important too? When you've done your live stream on StreamYard, Substack, are you just putting it there, or are you taking it and you're going to link it to other places? Where can people find these Substack events for you?
Yes, so Substack, and I am going to put them on YouTube as well. I have not done very much with YouTube, but I really do want to start. I think you and America are really inspiring me to want to do more with YouTube. So I really want to try that, put a little more time into that. But yes, Substack and YouTube, LinkedIn. And I haven't, and it's so funny, we talked about this the other day, but I have not really been on LinkedIn as much. It's just been,
You may not need to. I mean, with Substack, you can send the file to YouTube. Now, the thing that's really great about YouTube, and I don't know much about this because I'm not really a big fan of YouTube, but there's two things you can do. One is you can do these really lovely panoramic style landscape images, which is perfect for travel. Because when you travel, you see the world with your eyes in the real world. Like you don't go to a deserted island and see your life in 916. Like when you're traveling, you see the whole world, right? You see the whole panoramic vista. So YouTube has this lovely sort of panoramic vibe. So you can do landscape videos and they'll come up really well. And you can have a this is very important. You can have a playlist. So what I've started to experiment with now is whenever I do a YouTube video, I put it somewhere. It doesn't just go sequentially in a line where no one can find it. I put it in a heading, right? So this particular series of events are under a heading called the Social Audio Tech Check, because we're trying new things here. and we're talking about the tech involved in doing these things. So I've got about 6 videos now under the social audio tech check heading, and each of them has got a slightly different flavor. Might be talking about restream or multi-streaming or Substack or etc. So it's very easy to do. Once you've actually loaded a video to YouTube, you can click a button that says add to playlist. Right? So then suddenly, this is really cool. It's like a folder, like your spare room. Instead of just sending people to, happens a lot, instead of sending people to your YouTube channel and expecting them to find it, you say, look, this is my playlist of videos that I made on this cruise. This is all that it's all this. That's all it is. There's nothing about the future or the past. It's only to do with this 5-night cruise that I did. So why that's great is that particular folder lives forever. So even if a year down the track you think, oh, where's that folder? You know, like I've got a folder from 2020 called Live Streaming Decoded. Very good example. We did 15 shows where we tested every single live streaming tech available at that time, 2020. It was, Restream and StreamYard and all these others. Right now, if I go to Live Streaming Decoded, it's all there. I can find it in 4 seconds. Live Streaming Decoded is a folder. All of those videos are there in sequence. Why this is important is you try doing that on LinkedIn. Try going to LinkedIn and finding your videos. Just try it. Try it. I challenge you. Just try and find a video you've done on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. You can't find them because they're just in sequence. And if you scroll down far enough, you go, oh, okay, there it is, right down the bottom, 16 videos in. But you can't, there's no discovery on the LinkedIn events tab. But with a playlist of video, you can have a playlist of videos just for this cruise.
Yeah.
As an example, we did, and I'm going to share this with you. We did a playlist for Anchor Day. Remember Anchor Day?
Yes.
That was 12 shows, and we did a show called "Why Do We Travel?" Remember that?
I do.
That's just sitting there. I can find that in 4 seconds. Why do we travel? It's in the Anchor Day folder. Right. So when you do your videos, send them to YouTube in 16:9, and then create a playlist. And then when you get back, we'll do a follow-up show about this, and we'll be able to share the videos you made and how you made them. And the other thing, it's very cool. And the other thing about LinkedIn, about YouTube, let's be very clear, YouTube, is that it has this feature, which I personally don't like, but it's very popular, called Shorts, which is 9:16, and they go like 20 seconds. Like both of those things are just not the way I live my life. I like to watch TV and sit in a couch and watch a show that goes for 1 hour. I'm not into watching 20-second videos. It's not the way I live. That's not how I process the world. I want to watch a longer video that says something. But it doesn't matter what I want. People want short 20-second videos with just the goss, the essence. So America is quite good at this. I don't know how to do it yet, but America has worked out how to make these short videos in 9:16 portrait mode, send them to YouTube, and they get like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views.
Yeah.
So if you're doing the videos anyway, have you been experimenting with YouTube Shorts?
Not so much, but I do know that the Substack does, and I do have drafts because I have all the clips that it makes from the videos, that I've done, and I can upload the shorts to YouTube, which I should do, and I may do that. But I do think that it seems to be very hot right now, those shorts on YouTube. So I wouldn't mind getting in on that action for sure. Yeah.
Well, what happens when you do, and I've done this before, when you do a Substack video, the video is live and you can talk to people while you're live. Then when you finish, Substack says, "Would you like to post this now?"
Mm-hmm.
And it posts the video for you. Once you've done that, it then says, "Guess what? I just found 4 really cool clips that you can put on YouTube or Substack or TikTok. I did that for you. Would you like to watch them now? Click here." And you just watch them and they go, "They're good." And then you push a button that says send to YouTube. I mean, it makes it so easy for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it even has the words in it, the subtitles, all of that. It is just amazing. I mean, I love if Substack has done the best job of making it easy to create for sure, and I love them for that.
Yeah. Well, we as you know, we're doing a series of shows, and this is a very good setup for that. We create lots and lots and lots and lots of content, and I am always pressuring myself to create new content. But it occurred to me, what happens if you could create 10 pieces of content from each snippet you make?
Mhm.
And the challenge of this new format, Repurpose 3030, is we are going to create 30 pieces of content together as a community in 30 days. Now, we've already worked out that you do a video,
Mhm.
it goes to YouTube.
Yeah,
Substack's already going to create 4 little snippets for you.
right.
So there's 5 pieces of content already from one video. You're going to take all these photos, you're going to send it to Facebook and Instagram. There's another 2. So there's 7 pieces of content.
Mhm.
Right. Now, if you get really clever, suddenly you get your mojo, you get a sense of this. And I'm so excited that we're having this discussion before you go, because now you'll be ready.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but sometimes you get home from your holidays and you go, "Oh, I had the wrong setting on my phone. It looked good at the time." I want to share this story. This is a pretty funky story. So we travel a lot. Once Carol and I go away for 4 weeks every year, usually
Mhm.
around about our anniversary, and it's a bit sort of a together time.
Mhm.
And we take lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of selfies because we're having fun and we're out and we're out
Yeah.
at these exotic locations, and we look our best because we're having fun and we're relaxed. And they're
Mhm.
really good photos of us together. So you're taking this photo and you're in the moment on your phone, and then you get home and you think, "I wouldn't mind framing that photo." This is exactly what happened. Oh no. The default on my phone is to make photos square. Well, it's very hard to buy square frames. Um, we should have done them 916, right? And then we went subsequently we went into the phone and we found the 916 setting, which was hard to find, but we got it now. So the next photo we take will fit in a frame. Now, it wasn't until we got home years later, because we never put our photos in frames. Who does?
Mhm.
We just thought we'd try something. We got home and we got 3 lots of holidays: Hawaii, Spain, and Japan. Right?
Yeah.
Spain. So we got all these holiday photos sitting in a box or sitting on our C drive. Let's have a bit of a fun day. We'll go down to the shop and we'll print them. Oh, they're all square, Keith. What happened? Well, that's what the phone does. So by practicing before the event,
Mhm.
you don't get home from the event, which is going to happen once a year, and think, "Oh no, I should have known better." So I'm so excited that we're having this discussion, because now you're going to be ready to make these great videos.
Mhm. I will. Yes.
Mike, if you want to come and talk about this, I can't access that. I can't access this song. We're not talking about Suno today. We're talking about creating content for when you travel or when you go to events. We can, if you want, we can play this song for you if you want to come on and tell us what that is. But this is very, very, very cool. So we've got 3 live listeners, Mike and Robert. Lynn is here, I'm here, and a few of my buddies as well. With that in mind, what I might do is I might just take a little bit of a break. I'll play, but based on what Mike said, I'll play my version of Restream is going mainstream. Sorry, Substack is going mainstream.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought of. But Mike's also written a version, so I would love to hear that. I'll play the sort of slightly longer minor key version because that's sort of a bit somber and soulful. And then Mike, if you want to come up and share your version, I'm totally up for that. But we'll do that via the site itself.
LinkedIn, Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. It started as a whisper, a spark in the feed. Creators find their voice and create at light speed. We are scaling up without selling out. Gentle souls finding an audience without having to shout. It's still very early in these golden days. The crowd's not too loud and the tech will amaze. Substack is going mainstream. Ooh, from a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. The challenge is the balance to stay true and free. Hold that creator soul in the storming sea. 2025, the year we decide how far the wave goes, how wide the tide. Can we scale the mountain without losing the art? Every platform's heartbeat starts in the heart. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name.
Substack is going mainstream. The ballad. So was what I've started doing. I'll decode how I do it, and we'll have a bit of a chat about this, because what I'm really interested in now is the types of content we make to create this sort of ongoing discussion. So yesterday or the other day, we did a show just for fun, and I created a song called "LinkedIn Feels Like Homework," which I'll play in a minute because it's very good. And I also then created another song called Substack is not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. Right. And the way that I personally do it, and I'm very proud of this, is I actually ask Perplexity, can you write a song for me? Because I don't know how to write songs, write lyrics. So I said to Perplexity, can you write a song? LinkedIn feels like homework. Verse, chorus, bridge, double chorus, end. Less than 3 minutes, please. Right. And it created this unbelievable song with lyrics. Then I punched that song into Suno, and it did the music. Right? Two very distinct processes. That's how I do it, because I like songs that I can sing in the car. Right? I don't particularly like long songs. I like songs I can sing in the car and sing my heart out while I'm having a beer, singing, with my boy, with the boys, because I was in a band, right? And we wrote songs, I can tell you the biggest thrill in my whole life was when I was on stage and people in the audience were singing my song. Like I can't describe that. I'm on stage playing my V50, my Yamaha V50, and it had all the lights and had all the gear, and I had long hair, looked like a dude, and there's people in the audience singing our songs. Man, you can't explain that. Right? So that's what my musical history is. But Michael, how do you do it? How do you write songs? And tell us what you've got another version of this song. How did you do it? And what's your inspiration for writing songs?
Well, my first iteration of this was to actually take my poetry. So I've been writing poetry for a number of years. And the very first song that I did with Suno was actually a poem. And I turned that into straight, poem into the lyric section. And then I forget, I didn't know that much about Suno, so I don't remember if I asked Suno to create something. I don't remember. And that was my very first iteration of using Suno. So in that vein, I tend to use, I write the lyrics. So I'm not writing poetry and then lyrics. I'm still taking some of my poetry and converting them to songs, but there's a bit of a different there's a different process when you're going through. To your point, traditional songs have verse, chorus, maybe a bridge, and then an outro. So if you're sort of doing it from a formal perspective, that's what you do. I'm doing that. I'm also experimenting with some different genres. I don't know if you've heard of the psychedelic genre, but in essence, you don't really have traditional verses. You just you go on this bit of a trip with the music. So I'm really kind of experimenting all over the place, Keith, with different genres but then the other thing I'm doing is really trying to understand how Suno actually works relative to the prompting on the styles, and then there's actually prompting in the lyrics. Now, from what I can understand, there is it spends most of its focus on the style prompt, but and I haven't figured out exactly how much of it is style and how much of it is lyrics. But it does take some direction, the lyrics, particularly if you haven't told it exactly what to do in the style prompt. So what happened with my version of Keith's song was Keith and I were just talking about, you know, how popular, how Substack was was and particularly really kind of the use, which you're talking a little bit at this evening, but I just feel that if it's between LinkedIn and Substack, I believe, and I think Keith may have done a poll on this, or someone did a poll on this, as to which platform actually is, uh, getting behind the creator. And I believe Substack is, because if you look at LinkedIn, you're trapped in what I call the walled garden. So you can't push anything outside of LinkedIn. Well, it's not 100% true. You can actually have Google look at your newsletters and articles, but it doesn't look at your posts, doesn't look at your comments. And then I'm trying to remember if I don't think LinkedIn Lives go outside of LinkedIn either. So in order to do that, to Keith's point, you would have to use Restream or StreamYard, and then stream to both LinkedIn and YouTube and Substack now. So, but anyway, so Keith and I were kind of talking about what's going on with with Substack, and then he had come up with a song and particularly a chorus. So I said, well, why don't I see what I can do with that? It started out with the chorus and then basically build a song around the chorus.
Yeah.
Um,
Why that's
and
important? Why that's important is because we're talking about, and this played out yesterday, and I'll probably do this every time. We're talking about how to make content from the adventures you're having. Like Lynn is going on a cruise for 5 days. She's going to meet funky people. She can take photos, she can take videos, she could write a song. So we are as a community trying to find 10 ways to actually create content from our original ideas. It could be a song, it could be a video, it could be a blog post, it could be a photo, it could be a podcast, it could be a Google Notebook summary. And my job now is to help people find 10 ways that they can promote what they do. So if you want to, you can play this song, Mike, while we're waiting for other people. Hello, Rita. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Robert. We've got quite a few people in the call now. And while we're waiting, though, what type of content do you create, Michael? And have you thought about running your own shows? I mean, I would just love to see you running these shows and talking about the song and then playing it. What's stopping you doing that?
Well, it's more technical, actually. I'm trying to figure out, Keith, because I loaded up, I kind of did a comparison between StreamYard and Restream, for the cost and for, I don't know, sort of usability and stuff. I actually settled on Restream. So I got into the studio and I started building things. But the one thing, and again, maybe this is something I'm missing, but one of the things I want to do is play either or have a picture up and then basically play like a playlist behind the picture or the video.
Very good. Yeah.
And I can't figure out now. I know you can do it, Keith, if you preload your asset on the like your music on the right hand side, and then you can play each track. But I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Or you can share your screen like I'm going to do here in a second on Restream, and then you can play. But then you're seeing Suno. I don't want you to see Suno. I want you to hear the song that I'm playing and be able to see whatever I put up, whether it's a still or
Well,
a video.
let's try an experiment. You play the song the way you want to play it,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then I'll play a song the way I play it. Because what I do is I then where is it? I think I might have deleted it. I'll add the scene again. I add a scene, and that becomes the theme of the content, the theme of the show, and then I play a song using.
Keith, is it, well, internet time?
While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and let me see if he comes back. But Lynn, I don't know if you understand what
Yeah.
I'm struggling with, but uh, I know how to load the song up as an asset, and then just you would put up either still or video or whatever. And I
Right.
have the other thing that I wanted to mention is it's pretty intensive to do an actual video, music video. I've done two now. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're on my Substack. One is about finding clarity in chaos, and the other is through the fire, I think. And they're through the fire. I'm not that happy with because I just used a kind of a single clip and then repeated it. And then I used the other one. I've used Kling, which is an AI, video. You basically describe what you want, and it
Mhm.
creates clips for you. And then I have, I want to say that was 3 or 4 minute long, but the amount of effort that you have to put into it is pretty intense.
Yeah, yeah, that is a lot. Would you have guests on your show, or would you just kind of be would it be you kind of talking about your process and your
Well,
what you
it's strange. It's strange you should ask that because
Mhm.
because I'm trying to figure out if I want to do something for bespoke media, which would mean maybe having a guest on that I've actually created a song for. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So I don't know if I want to do that, and I don't want to hold anyone that I've done this for to make them feel that they have to do it, but. I would. One of the things I kind of am interested in is just the thought process that I go through to do these bespoke things, like I did for you and a number of
Yeah.
other people. And actually, I'm going on a show tomorrow with Americo and Jay to talk about how being a CISO and a poet and songwriter coincide. I'm like, I actually came up with a way that they actually do. And basically, that is telling a story, meaning that as a CISO, I have to explain to people why they need to do something, to reduce risk. And so, when you're telling, in a poem or in a song, you
Mhm.
are trying to evoke something out of people.
Right.
Now, sometimes it's just it's a natural consequence, I guess, of whatever you're writing the song about. Like when I was writing about Substack, I tried to figure out, okay, so what are we trying to say? What are we trying to evoke? And that's the thing. I just went through a storytelling workshop, and
You're
I
very
said,
deep. Well, you're very deep, Mike. I mean, I think you're very deep.
well, and that's my songs that I've written kind of for, I don't know, myself or to, I've written a number of them like on division and just trying to work through some of our challenges. I don't like to be political, but I do want to focus on unity as opposed to division. So I've written a number of songs, but so those kind of go deep, and then there's other songs about sort of overcoming or being a champion or being a victor versus a victim. So yeah, those can go a little deeper. Are you ready for this, Keith?
I'm back. I'm so sorry. I lost the signal. Australia has the worst internet in the world, and I've been struggling with it for a very long time. But I'm very interested in this. I want to hear how your version sounds, how it sounds, but also the sonic, the quality, the fidelity, and we'll talk about how you've done that, and then I'll compare it to how I do it, and then we'll see which is the best format, because you are doing so many songs. I would love to go to a show where you talk about this. Like, you've got so many songs, you could do this for hours and hours.
Well,
It's a shame you're not
we were
doing it.
talking. Well, we were talking a little bit about the challenge, Keith, and so what I am looking to try to do is have, rather than seeing Suno, and you know me playing the track and you seeing that I'm playing the track, I want to have Suno up, but behind a video or a still, and then talk about, okay, so this is Substack is going on mainstream. This came out of a conversation that Keith Keller and I had about Substack, and then we figured out, let's see how each one of us come at the the songwriting and go from there. So this is the version I actually wrote. As you can see, I wrote a number of these, but we're gonna go with this one.
Built this brand from zero, never backing down. Every word we probably we started in the shadows, now we're claiming the crown. Built this brand from zero, never backing down. Every word we publish is a battle cry. No gatekeepers holding us, we're touching the sky. This is our revolution, this is our time. Direct to the people, every single line. We're the future rising, can you hear the sound? Substacks where the movement starts spreading all around. Substacks going mainstream, from the fringe to the front of the scene. We're the voice, we're the ink, we're the stream. Substacks going mainstream. Yeah, we're going mainstream. One hub, one vision, everything we create. Repurpose every platform, this is how we dominate. Linked into the newsletter, YouTube to the page. Every piece of content is a weapon on the stage. No more scattered chaos, now it's unified and strong. Every fan knows where to go, this is where they belong. Cross the channels, drive the traffic, make them believe us. Substacks the headquarters for the new thought leaders. Substacks going mainstream, from the fringe to the front of the scene. We're the voice, we're the ink, we're the stream. Substacks going mainstream. Yeah, we're going mainstream. This is home, this is base, this is where you find me. Every song, every post, every truth that defines me. No more chasing algorithms, no more borrowed land. One domain, one kingdom, built by my own hand. Fans don't search in circles, they know where to land. Everything I've ever made is right here is planned. This is more than writing, this is building legacy. Substack's my fortress and I'm finally free. Substack's going mainstream, from the fringe to the front of the scene. We're the voice, we're the ink, we're the stream. Substacks going mainstream. Yeah, we're going mainstream. Paid subscribers rising, free content breaking through. Building something bigger, connecting me to you. Monetize with honor, keep the mission pure. Substacks how we win this, that's the only cure. Comments turn to movements, readers turn to tribe. This is real community, this is
So that's the idea.
Yeah, mate, you have very long songs. Like that must have been 5 minutes. So
Well, I have shorter versions, but the thing I wanted to really make a point here, Keith, is that Substack is going to allow creators a lot more control over, who sees their content, and how. And to your point, I mean, the ability, like Lynn was saying, to be able to take a video and then Substack automatically can create clips for you, or there's just so many different ways to do that, and it's allowing you to push that content outside of Substack. Now, the one thing that Substack does do, and you probably need to know this, is that obviously they're incented for you to get paid subscribers. So I haven't done that yet, and that's sort of probably a subject for another show. But they will incent, or you will get broader reach if you turn on the paid subscription,
yeah,
even if you don't,
we've
have
actually
paid
spent a bit
subscribers.
of time on this. I want to spend a bit of time on this.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things we need to talk about um, that you may not know. One is I was banned from LinkedIn last weekend.
Oh wow.
Why? Why?
Because Substack allows you to connect to LinkedIn and YouTube with the push of a button, which is very easy to do. When I did that, when I connected my Substack to LinkedIn with the point of sending some of these small clips to YouTube and to LinkedIn, LinkedIn sent me a note saying, "We do not like third-party sites. You are banned for 24 hours. Please do not do this again."
Wait,
What?
wait. How?
Wait.
What?
Keith,
I'm
Keith,
confused.
what did you send over?
I didn't send anything over. I just simply connected LinkedIn to Substack. And you're not allowed. Like, you're not allowed to use third-party sites on LinkedIn. They make it very clear. And so this is very, very toxic because we went away for the weekend, and on Thursday night, my wife's just come home from yoga and we're getting ready and we're packing the car up, and I get this message, "You've been banned for 24 hours." And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be away now when this comes back. I'm just going to have to give it up. Like, I just have to turn my brain off. I'm not going to be halfway down the highway looking to get my LinkedIn back when we're on the road trip. So for 5 days, I just didn't use it. And I'm thinking, look, it's a very sour taste in my mouth. Like, I'm just a guy making content for fun, helping people, and then I get banned. And it's not the first time. And I'm getting a bit sick of it, like really sick of it. So that's the first thing. You've often mentioned, Mike, that LinkedIn is not for creators. It's not for creators. It's not for creative people. Like, creative people don't like LinkedIn. It's a good site for whatever it is, but it's not for creators. And I was banned for 24 hours on a Thursday night when I was just about to go away for the weekend. And I didn't really get it back until I got back, which means I sort of lost 4 days. And I just don't like that.
Well,
Right? So that's the first.
didn't you hear LinkedIn's announcement
Well,
there around brand link? Have you heard about that?
no, tell me what's happening. What is that?
Okay, let me pull that up. So, I brought that to the attention of one of my cohorts. So, what? So brand link is so it started back, I think, in May of this year, but not a lot of people knew about it. They are trying to be almost like a market maker with the B2B. So basically, there's B2B people, or there's businesses, right? And they're trying to match up the content from creators with that, and so that there's some type of revenue share or revenue split. Now, I have the details. Let me bring it up, and I'll tell you a little bit more. But they admitted they were horrible at it. They did a really bad job, and now they're going to do they're going to do something. They're going to do version 2 of video, right? And so, hang on, I'm going to bring it up right now. Brand link. So they're trying to be. Here it is. Here, I'll give you the skinny. Okay. So, let me hear. I'm bringing up my. All right. So, they said, hey, we learned from our past events. We're now prioritizing educational and deep content over viral or motivational videos. Okay. And here's why. So they're noticing a shift in content consumption. So basically they're noticing professionals, leaders, and CEOs they're consuming short form content, but they're looking more for expert led content. Like, hey, if you're good in cybersecurity, if you're good in careers, if you're good in whatever, right, that you're an expert in your area because you've done it for a long time, right? They're not looking for, hey, Keith, who really is digging underwater basket weaving, to go do some educational videos around that, because you're a fraud. Not you're a fraud, but you're not an expert, right? You're just trendy. So now BrandLink, what it is, it's LinkedIn's new creator monetization system, and they want to connect high value creators. So you can be a high value creator. They're going to connect you with brands looking to invest in these expert led video content. So what they're trying to do is they're creating a system to do, like, it's like a matchmaking service. And so I misspoke earlier. It's a matchmaking service rather than the traditional ad revenue split. So that's what it is.
But Bez,
Let me see.
what would that
Yeah.
what would that have to do with him getting banned though?
No, well, nothing. What I'm saying is, he said LinkedIn is not for creators. So I said,
Okay.
I said, well, did you hear about the announcement they made? And so that's why I brought up BrandLink, because traditionally Keith would be right, because they sucked at it. They did horribly the first round. I mean, they did horribly with LinkedIn audio. So they're trying to do a whole new thing, and it's currently in beta. It's being rolled out in the United States. And instead of that typical ad revenue split like YouTube, LinkedIn's BrandLink, it basically directly connects high value creators with companies. So they're already going to spend their marketing budget on expert led video, okay, and they just want to match it, and you like, to that niche, and because they're looking for that credible educational content. Now, how that manifests, I'm still doing more research into this, but it's called Brand Link. So just wanted to share that a little bit.
Bez, did that pop up in your account somehow, or you
No,
just found out about this?
no.
Okay.
This is yeah, I was just doing some research. I'm
Let me
always
pick up on this. Let me pick up on
Yeah.
this. I have about 90% given up on LinkedIn. Like, I've been hit in the head a few times. It's like, I feel like if you were married to a drunk guy, let's just play this out. If you were married to a drunk guy and he bashed you up one night after a big night at the pub, and you woke up the next day and he says, "I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I won't do it again." All right. Well, I get you. You make mistakes. And then 2 weeks later, he bashes you over the head with a crowbar because he's been to the pub again and his football team lost. And you're thinking, well, look, I'm better than this. I mean, I've been hit over the head 3 times. I did nothing wrong. Nothing. I did nothing wrong. I'm just a person in Melbourne, Australia, making content for fun. Why should I be banned? Why should I? And why should I put up with it? Why should I?
Well, and there's a couple more things, Keith. One is they should I believe anyway, they should give you a very clear um, explanation, not a one sentence explanation or something that you know, I don't know, whatever they said. It should be, no, you violated, you know, XYZ terms of service. Here's the terms of service, or whatever. And they don't basically do that. I know a fair amount of people, you know, at least, you know, five I can count on my hand, maybe a little more, that go into what they call LinkedIn jail, which is kind of like what you're saying. And there's not really an explanation of the why. So at some point, and I'm paying for it, I'm paying the $20 or whatever, $25 a month, and you ban me and I'm paying $25, all of a sudden I'm going to really question. But it's not even that, Keith. It's like I said, LinkedIn is a walled garden. So I cannot create like a LinkedIn. Well, I can't create really anything and push it outside of LinkedIn. So, you know, from my perspective as a creator, Substack was a perfect and like I said, they're kind of built. Their business model is for you to succeed as a paid, you know, publisher to have paid subscribers, and they get a piece of that action. So they are putting tools out like we already talked about, like being able to push to YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all these platforms, right? And and then they're giving you tools. The other thing we haven't really talked about yet is community chat. So they actually want you to have a community of your subscribers too, so that you build, you know, sort of a persistence, right? So once you get your subscribers going, paid or unpaid, then you build a community, and you can have basically community chats around your publication.
Let's
So
let's have a chat about this.
where can you do that in LinkedIn?
Well, you can't. I mean, and I'm not in any way defending LinkedIn ever again. Like I'm over it. I'm over it. Like I've gone past the point of defending them now. I will use it, but I'm not defending them. If you want to use it, but don't expect me to be excited about it. I have reached the point of no return. I've been hit over the head too many times for no reason and not got a good explanation. And I'm sick of it. I'm just
Yeah.
honest.
The other thing, Keith, and I think we've talked about this too, is it's very murky how the algorithm. And I just actually attended something from Lanier Johnston, who is kind of a LinkedIn guru, and they've changed. I forget what they call it, something 360. So they've changed basically the algorithm behind LinkedIn altogether, which is they're using AI, and kind of dovetailing with what Bez was saying. Now they're going to be looking at your content and your profile, and basically assigning you, like Bez is in the, you know, the recruiter, you know, job market. If he strays outside of that in his posts too much, he won't see the. And this is new, so this wasn't true before, but this is something instituting. They don't tell anybody. I'm like, so now I have to adjust potentially my profile if I want, you know, certain reach, but I can never tell what my reach is, and particularly Keith, on LinkedIn Lives. So I have no visibility into who's seeing the, you know, my repost or my post or whatever, versus YouTube. I can see kind of right away, you know, who's jumping on, you know, and I don't know. It's just I don't, you know, they've made certain decisions, and that's fine, and it's really more B2B. It's not B2C, which, I mean, I thought, at least initially back in the day, it was supposed to be somewhere where you know, kind of put your wares out there from a you know, a individual standpoint, and you could get visibility. And now with the, you know, the paid boosting and everything else, to me it's really become kind of a marketplace for B2B, as opposed to maybe you know, us as content creators, whatever you want to call us as individuals, to be able to have visibility in the LinkedIn you know, universe. So
Well, Yeah.
People will love it, and people love it. Good, people love it. People love chocolate cake, and people love reality TV and watching the Super Bowl. But I can tell you for sure, they've gone too far. Like they've offended me one too many times. I'm just one guy. I'm sure they don't care about me. I'm one guy in Melbourne, Australia, a million miles away, one person out of 1.2 billion. My distaste for LinkedIn is not going to affect them at all. But I can tell you, I've just hit the wall.
Yeah, their algorithm has been changing last year. So, Mike, they've been trending towards that. Because last year their algorithm was around relevancy and was another word that was being used. I follow the
Frequency, relevance,
huh?
and frequency. Yeah.
Frequency, yeah. And so they sort of been trending that way. And there's a few experts out there that do a lot of behind the scenes testing, because they don't come out and tell you. And every LinkedIn who claim they're an expert, they have a different take. So I'll talk to a few of them, and it's all. But you sort of get a trend that their algorithm has been trending towards where it is today. And now with the enhancement of AI, because they are trying to see. Last year they were trying to do the same thing. They were trying to, if you did content, you actually could get reach second and third level better if your content was specific and they could match it up to someone on the other side outside of your network that it made sense to connect, or that for them to see your content. So, and then there's also that thing that a lot of people think LinkedIn is a social media platform, but it really isn't. It's a networking platform. So it's all about relationships, making connections, and they look at that stuff, right? That is important to them, and they see how the DMs, what are you doing, how are you connecting, are you taking conversations off platform and things like that, because that's really where things start to happen. Now, it has revolved around the job seeker, but then they also have a product called Sales Navigator. So they do want to put you in front of businesses, but everything starts with the LinkedIn profile. So it's still about you, the person, because even when you're connecting with brands, they're connecting with you. So it's very fascinating just to see how they're going. But LinkedIn is not so much as a broadcast platform like many other social media. It's more of a networking, and when you get into that side of it, but I get it. Hey, maybe it doesn't work for you, and Substack's more your jam, right, Keith? I understand.
Let me pick up on this. After this happened, I created this song called "LinkedIn Feels Like Homework." Right, and I want to read the words out because this Perplexity wrote these words. I didn't write these words, but they're so accurate. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. I've turned my life into a network, and every post feels like a test. I'm smiling in the headlines and I'm dreaming in the burbs, and it feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Now, I'm going to play this song because it's a funky little song. But and we should probably move on from here because, as I said, I've been banned from LinkedIn, and moving forward in January, I will not do my shows on LinkedIn again. But I've got a couple of shows already planned for LinkedIn, and I will honor those, but I'm not doing this anymore. And this song sort of sums it up.
LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow, scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm here still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning live into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that lie with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume. And still figuring it out on the work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Yeah. LinkedIn feels like homework. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
Hey, LinkedIn sure feels like homework. What we're talking about today, separate to our adventures with LinkedIn, Lynn is going on a cruise on the weekend for 5 nights, and we're talking about how to reuse content. This is actually one of the things we want to talk about. Now, what Lynn's going to do, and we want to talk about the various ways you can do this. What Lynn's going to do is she's going to take a heap of photos on her phone and send those to Instagram and Facebook. She talks about cruises, and cruises is a travel thing, and travel things are used on LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook. Very funky, lots of photos, very cool, very fun, right? Instagram and Facebook. What she's also going to do is she's going to do a series of videos and live streams on her phone, possibly create a YouTube channel and a YouTube playlist. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to slightly change the flavor and ask what we think we can help Lynn with and what we do to repurpose our shows. So Lynn, you start. Is that a good synopsis for what you're doing? And have you got anything we can help you with before you start? Because we're right here for you.
Well, I am gonna make a post, and I was working on it a little while ago about this upcoming adventure, so that people can tune in and find me here on Substack for the live version. But I will also have a version for my Facebook, Instagram, and like, we were talking about earlier, I love that I can go live from right from Substack, and I'll take what I create and then send it to YouTube and to wherever else. I can send it to Facebook too if I want to send some lives there as well. And LinkedIn. I actually have sent something from Substack to LinkedIn, and when you mentioned that, I was thinking, geez, I guess I'm lucky I haven't gotten banned, but I will be more careful and cautious about that. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to break it down into parts like we discussed. So I'll have the dining, the entertainment, the excursions, the pre-cruise trip, all of that together, in one, and talk about the different things and aspects on the cruise.
Love this. Now, Bez, old Mike, have you ever been to a conference and created content from the conference, or did you just go to enjoy it, or don't you go to conferences? Bez, do you go to conferences? Do you create content there, or do you just like hugging people and shaking hands?
Yeah, I'm shaking hands, kissing babies, and yeah, shaking
Bez the
hands.
politician.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
create content while you're there.
Man, how can you when I'm in conversations, man? I mean, that'd be sort of weird if I'm like, can we record our conversation? You know, no, I'm, I'm
Bez
gonna
live on site.
live on site, Mike. We're gonna have a really deep conversation, but you know what? We're gonna bring everybody with us. You know, that's weird. You know,
Okay, no, this is good. This is I've realised that that's very much your style. You're a one-on-one type of shake your hand, hug people, kiss babies type of person. You know,
yep.
you're not a content creator. Like you're not I've never seen you create content. You're not a content creator. You're more. You must be sort of in there in the silent. Just we never see what you're doing because you're busy doing it. You know? You're at events talking to people. You don't need to prove that. You don't need to
Well,
take pictures of people you're talking to, but we don't know that, right?
I have people around me doing that. Like I run a 1 million cups community, and I'm considered the lead organizer, and I have 9 organizers. We're going to onboard another 3 or 4 because you can never have enough help. You know, it's volunteer, right? You take what people give you, and it's really built up over the last 7 months into something really nice. Um, but yeah, I'll live stream it. But then you really need an extra pair of hands. I think Lynn is actually taking an extra pair of hands because
Yeah.
you can't be the creator. Like I guess you could, but you really need, an extra hand for doing, you know, I don't know. You do need hands. Someone needs to record you. Someone needs you really need help. Trying to do. I mean, what's your thought there, Lynn? I mean, I think you've got some expert help, right?
I'm very fortunate to have my son accompanying me on this adventure because he does have some technical background in, actually he was in theater and was in, he actually had a scholarship to a university here in UAB here in Birmingham to do a theater lighting. Lighting was his specialty. So I it's a good thing for me. So I will have him to, and he's so detailed about things. So that's even better. Far more detailed than I probably would be. So I'm very lucky. I've got a cameraman. So yeah.
It's a
Wow.
very,
And
very, very
he's
good point because we just went away for the weekend, and when we travel, like a lot of people have asked me this, like we're going to Europe probably later next year, and people are going, "Mate, you're going to Europe. Surely you can take a photo or a video of you at whatever." I said, "Oh, look, I could, but I'm with my wife, and I'm with my wife. That's what I'm there for. I'm there to be with my wife. I don't care what you think. I only care what my wife thinks, right? So if my wife wants to go here, we'll go there. I'm not there to create some funky video of me standing on the top of the Eiffel Tower to prove that I can do it. I don't need to tell you that I did it. I know I can do it. I did it. I don't need to tell you that. So I get you. I mean, I get that sometimes content feels a little bit flaky. You're too busy doing it to record yourself doing it. Right?
Well, there's a couple other things though, Keith. While I'm thinking of, I don't. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
Bez is a awesome moderator. So I've been on either one or two panels that Bez moderated, but we don't have access, or at least I didn't have access to that content. So whoever ran, whoever got Bez to do that, and I'm a guest, right? I was guesting, and actually I've been on a fair amount of shows that I don't have access to that content. So like I'm on Bez, any I'm on any a fair amount, and so I've guested on. In fact, I'm guesting on America's show tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But
what time? What time is it?
I think it's 7 EST. I don't know what that translates for
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Caroline.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Um, but and you can it should be on my profile event thing, or look at Americo's. It's Americo and Jay, the storytelling
Oh yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but so there's that, and then like I've done stuff. I've done presentations, Keith. But again, so I have like PowerPoint or whatever I have, but that's not video, and I could probably repurpose that. Like I could probably put a carousel or something up on LinkedIn with that. But and to your point, I mean, there are some AI based tools that can chop up video for you, maybe even find you in a video. I don't know if they can do that yet, but I'm using CapCut, so it's very manual when I do videos. Or now I'm using Canva for some videos, but Canva is not a good sort of just video editor, I don't think. CapCut is probably a little better.
Well, I want to
And
share a story about this sort of thing. And
Yep.
I totally honor what you're saying there, Bez. If you love talking to people, that is the point. I'm not that big on talking to people. I would rather create content and be the show off. But I get it if you like to create content or you want to create conversations. But I spoke at this event in 2017, and the guy said to me, "Mate, we're making videos of this, and please be your best, and we'll interview you." And they interviewed me, and I spoke well, and then they interviewed everyone that was on stage that day, and they put it on a video recorder, and they were going to make content, and we were all very excited. And we thought, okay, well, send me a copy of that and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. And they never, ever, ever did anything with it. And I was really angry because I thought I spoke well. It's there. Send me the file and I'll edit it. And you've got this. I mean, I got dressed up. I had a shave. I had a suit on. Like I don't never do that. So I went to all this trouble. And there it is sitting on their little video recorder in the corner. They never, ever did anything with it. Really pissed me off. Right? And I'm thinking you went to the trouble of recording it, but you didn't fix it. So I get it if you're going to a place and you don't want to record it. If you go to a concert, I don't record concerts. I just sit there and I watch the concert and I enjoy it. And I'm in the moment watching it. But other people are recording it on their phones, in the front row. So it's a very different strategy. If I was going to go to a conference, it would seem a waste to me to go there just to talk to people. That would be a waste to me. I mean, there's no way in the world I would do that. That just seems like a waste. But for you, Bez, that's who you are. You love talking to people, right? You're not a
the other
content
thing,
creator.
Keith,
Yeah.
the other thing, Keith, as a very serious photographer, I can tell you when I did event photography, I didn't get to enjoy the event. So I went to my niece's wedding, and I figured, I'll help them, and actually, let's see, her grandfather said that my pictures were better than the paid photographers, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but you
My
didn't
point
enjoy
is,
the event because you were too busy working.
no, yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, I take it seriously. So I can absolutely see why you would say if you're going to go to a concert or any event that you want to really enjoy. I think even if it's just a phone video or something, then my understanding is it depends on where you go, but a lot of times they don't really allow videotaping or or
They're
phone.
starting to ban
so,
them. But when I've looked back, and this is a very good point, when I've looked back on these videos, I'm thinking, okay, well, that is a recording of that song, which I do love, but it sounds terrible, and it's very small, and it's a bit distorted, and it was a long way away. So it's I've done it, a bit of a waste. But what I'm really fascinated by this because I am a content creator. Like I don't go to events to talk to people. I don't just go to events. That's a waste to me. That's not my skill. It's not what I'm into. If I was going to go to an event, I would go there to interview someone and learn something. Okay, mate, what are you doing? What's your thing? How can I help you? What are you talking about? I'm not going to talk to you in a cafe silently. That seems a waste to me. Like, you're having this great conversation, no one else gets to hear it. That's just a waste.
Yeah, but Keith, how many mates do you know? I'm talking like personally, not like you've set something up. How many guys like would you go down to the local pub and just film them? I don't think I wouldn't want. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be filmed in a pub.
Yeah, look, it's a very good point, because if we go to our friend's house, we don't record the conversation for later.
Yeah.
And this is really fascinating to me. I'm really into content. So if I was going to go all the way into the city, I would feel cheated if I came home with nothing. I would just feel like empty. Well, what was the point of that? I met a few people. That was nice. Now what? That was a bit of a waste of time. I just,
But what would you do, Keith? I'm really curious now. So you go into Melbourne. What would you like film?
yeah. So when, not if, when I spoke at events, sometimes I MC them. A long time ago, I went a couple of times. I just went and I sat on a table and I thought, this is fucking boring. I mean, this is just really boring. So what I did was I just turned my camera on. I said, mate, what are you doing? What's your thing? What are you working on? I've got a YouTube channel. Let me put you on my YouTube channel. So I set up a little video, and I set up a tripod, and I said, okay, let's pretend, because I've got a YouTube channel, let's pretend I'm interviewing you about what you do. I'll introduce you, and it's Keith Keller in Melbourne, Australia, and here you are. What are you doing? I had this show called Magic Melburnians, right, which is a YouTube playlist. And what I would do is I'd go into the city and I'd say, well, tell us what you do. What's your thing? Why do you love Melbourne? What are you selling? What do you do? What's your take on this? And I would make a little video of it and put it on YouTube. I could have got, and I did many times, go into the city and say, well, let's just have a chat. We'll go out for a pizza. And that was nice. And then I go home and I think, well, that's a bit of a waste of time. And I spent an hour to get in the city. Sure, I had a pizza and I met someone nice. And then I go home and then that's 3 hours of my life gone and I didn't get anything out of it. Right? That's because that's the way I view the world. I'm not really into people. Like, I'm not really into real events. So,
But you are, Keith, and see, this is what I find funny. You are, because you will. First of all, you have the personality, and I think you do a very good job of interviewing. So, and I think that's kind of what makes, at least the stuff that I've seen and heard of you, interesting, is your ability to sort of pull people's stories out of them, right? So that's number one. Because you're saying, well, I don't like people. Like, no, you like people. You don't maybe, you want to do it for the content, which is fine if they're into it. And that's why I find fascinating is that you were able to go into Melbourne and find people that would want to be interviewed, because, at least in the States, I don't know, dude, if someone like you came up to me and said, tell me about yourself, I would go, get lost, man. I don't know you.
I know. But because this is the thing, and this is why I do it. I have never, ever been to a conference when I haven't spoken. I can tell you that for sure. Never. I've never, ever been to a conference when I wasn't speaking. Because the fact that I'm on the poster means that I can say, hey, how you doing? When are you speaking? What's your thing? What are you talking about? Let's have a chat about that. So I'm on the poster. So, well, you're on the poster talking about Twitter. I'm on the poster talking about Microsoft. Why don't we just have a bit of a chat about that? You can record that if you want. If you've got a YouTube channel, I'm all right with that. But I'm not a no one. Like, I'm not a sort of a street urchin that just sort of turns up and sits in the back.
Wait. Okay, so you're saying you've only done this at conferences? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, at conferences, and so I've only ever done it with people I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like pretty ballsy going into Melbourne and just interviewing strangers. No, that makes a lot more sense because then they know, that you're part of the show and that there's some level of comfort and trust there.
Yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
I'm very interested. Like, I'm very interested in the concepts. But I'll give you a really cool example. I'll give you a really, really, really cool example of what I think about big groups. My sister, who's the most social person in the world, had 100 people at her daughter's christening. On 100 people, and she had this big party in the backyard. And I said, "Look, can you give me the skinny? Can you give me a top 10? Can you give me like 10 people I can sort of hang out with? I don't want to get stuck in the corner with someone with 3 babies and a dog. I don't want to get caught in the corner with someone talking about their grandchildren. I just have no tolerance for that. Haven't you got someone that's a podcaster or runs their own business or a web designer or someone that has a sort of a radio show? I mean, haven't you got anyone that I might be interested in?" And they go, "Keith," my sister was very offended. She says, "Look, you are my brother. The fact that you are my brother means that anyone in this room will talk to you because you are my brother. And by definition, you are somewhat similar to me. And they like me. So just be yourself and play the I'm Lizzie's brother card. And if they end up talking about their kids, just suck it up." I said, "Yeah, but look, I don't want to get caught in the corner with someone talking about having 3 kids and a dog. I have no tolerance for those discussions." So what I did is and I'm pretty good at it. I just worked the room, and I found a guy who runs his own business, and he was a web designer. And I said, and I'm very good at asking questions when I'm interested in the subject. And we chatted for hours and hours and hours, and that killed the day. I like to pass the time, right? In amongst a lot of other people with 3 kids and a dog, and many, many people with grandchildren, which is not my interest. So I'm really fascinated by this, Bez, because I couldn't go to an event and just go up to someone and start talking. Like, I just can't. I'm not interested. It's not that I can't. Could learn it, but I don't want to. I just don't want to. I just don't find, everyday life that interesting. And maybe that's a weakness in my personality. But if someone had a really interesting show, and this is why I'm interested in what Lynn's doing. Lynn's going on a cruise with all of these travel agents who are in her field. So you could bump into anyone on that boat, and you'll have something in common, won't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, and suppliers too, not just agents, but suppliers, because it is a national conference. So yes.
Yeah, I love this. Now, Bez, I'll give you right a reply. Hello, Jim. Jump in if you want to speak. I'm gonna give you right a reply there, mate, because I've been hounding down this path. But how do you do it? How do you just turn up to a place and talk to people you don't know? I mean, how do you do it? Give me some goss on this. I don't understand it.
Who was that to?
Well, anyone can answer that question. Looks like Bez might be walking the dog or something. But can you do it? Can you do it, Mike? Can you just turn up to an event and talk to people you don't know? What do you think, Mike? Can you do it?
Yeah. Yes. Let me swap out. It's really dependent on the gathering, right? Like, I'm part of a couple different organizations, professional organizations. So I have no problem, talking about whatever the organization's about, right? But to your point, like, I've been on vacation. Getting back to Lynn's, I've been on cruises or in Cabo or something, and my wife is also very social. So, like particularly, like we'll meet someone either from the States or whatever, and she or I will strike up a conversation, and I don't know. I mean, you find something in common. Like I can't remember where we were, but there were a bunch of us that were from New York, and so that I mean, we kind of talked about that a little bit, and my wife grew up there, so she kind of reminisced about various places in New York. So I think it really depends on the crowd. Like we made the mistake of going to a New Year's celebration that was primarily like probably 35 and under. In I don't know, Bez, if you know New York, but it was Hoboken, which is across the river from New York City, and it was just the wrong crowd. So I had nothing, and it was loud, and it just wasn't my. To your point, Keith, it was it wasn't my crowd, it wasn't my deal. But generally, yeah. I mean, if I'm out, and like I said, in a crowd or in a gathering, or even like I said, even on cruises, because like one of the things about cruises is you get to know your table mates typically. So we actually, I mean, one guy was a retired cop, the other guy's one was a pastor, and then their wives and stuff. So I don't know. We had a kind of a lively conversation at the table. Now, we kind of went our separate ways, did excursions, and hung out. We didn't necessarily hang out on the ship together, but we did at dinner. And so, yeah, I enjoy. I think the biggest thing, Keith, is I enjoy just learning what makes people tick, or like what life experiences they've had, and particularly like because we've traveled quite a bit abroad, just to get a feel of the cultures, or like we had met a woman in Spain actually, but she was from Venezuela, and it was she was talking about the horrors of stuff that were going on in Venezuela and how she was concerned about her son actually, and that's why she had brought him to Spain. So we've had some very interesting, very kind of deep conversations with people.
Yeah, I can see your point. I remember when we went to Japan, and I'll to backtrack to make myself feel a bit human again. We the way we travel with a group called Intrepid, and we always travel in a group to get our feet, to get our bearings. We arrive in a place where we can't speak the language, and there's a lot of differences, and which is a bit overwhelming. So we always do this small tour, maybe 10 days, to get our bearings and just see the main sites, and then we stay a couple of days before, which is what we were talking about at the front, and then a couple of days after. And on this trip in Japan, it's probably my best trip because everyone in the group, with the exception of 3 people, was retired. Now, the person that wasn't retired, I had nothing in common with her. I had a lot of trouble talking to her because she was like in her 40s and she was very stressed at work and she hated a job. And I thought, look, I've been there 20 years ago and I don't want to be reminded of that. And she couldn't bridge the gap and remember she was on holiday. She just brought her work with her, and took her about 10 days to unwind. And by the time she unwinded, like the trip was over. And she was quite a toxic person because she was stressed at work. But the other people were saying, well, retirement's bloody great, Keith. How are you doing it? And we had a lot in common. Well, this is what I do. I'm into this, and this is what I'm doing next week, and I plan ahead, and this is how I've been doing it, and I've saved for 20 years, and we live on a house on the hill, and it was great. Like we had so much in common that, that was probably my best trip with Intrepid because the group was good. So I do get it. If you do happen to click with people, one person was from Germany, one person was from England, one person was from LA, you think, okay, well, there's a different person doing a similar thing to me, and that's interesting. So I can do it when I'm traveling. And when I travel, we never, ever, ever, ever make content. Like we take photos of ourselves and we do it for fun, for us. But I never ever do live videos or do anything because I'm on holidays with wifey. I'm on holidays with her. And the point of the holiday is to be together, not to create content of this funky little place that no one's been to. Even though that would probably be good content, it spoils the vibe. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. So, but Bez, if you're there, I would love to know if you are indeed a super networker, is there room to create content or is it just not part of your model?
Well, you can always create content, but you would have to be respectful and ask the other person, can I record you? Right? Or can I record this conversation? I do that on sometimes Zoom calls, or like, hey, I think this is going to be really good, and let's record it. And if you can make them feel comfortable, you'll be all right. But it's all contextual. You're not having your drink of choice, mocktail, cocktail, whatever it is, and you're breaking bread, not breaking bad, okay? And you, it's late. I'm being silly. I mean, it's sort of weird you ruin the vibe.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm really fascinated by this this
mhm.
idea, Bez, because as I said, I never, never, ever go to events to talk to people. I go to events because I learned something from the event, or
Mhm.
more importantly, I'm speaking at it. I've never, ever, ever been to an event with the idea of talking to people. Never.
Oh man, it's wonderful. It's glorious. Remember, Keith, I'm an energy vampire. You've heard me say that, right? So,
What I'm interested in, Bez, because I'm very fascinated by this. What is you don't have to express this very detailed way, but what do you like when you're on your own? Do you feel really alone and empty like I do?
you
Can you
mean
be by
alone?
yourself?
Can I be by myself? I don't know, Keith. I'm just like I'd have to. I'm either gravitated towards people or they're gravitated towards me. It's like a magnet. I don't know what it is. I don't
See,
know if I could be alone. I might. Even the trees, I'd have to be talking to them or something.
you obviously haven't got an example. My wife works in the city.
Mhm.
She is away for 12 hours a day. Every day I'm away, I'm by myself.
Mm.
So I have a very strong understanding of what my life is like by myself. And it's not good. Like I'm not very good by myself. I know this. But I'm very interested in what energy vampires or extroverts feel like because in the same way that you love going to an event and talking to people, what happens if you're home on your own? Or does that never happen?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it has. Let me go back and think. I'll get on a Zoom call. I'll get on something like this. Like I've been to back since lunchtime, my time. Because I was in some a meeting this morning with 1 million cups. But since lunchtime, I've been in and even at the grocery store. I dropped by the grocery store and was supposed to be done in like a few minutes, picking up some supplies for my wife so she can make her world famous clam chowder, which I'm having some right now. And man, somebody saw me. I saw a couple people started talking, and a 30-minute, a 1 hour tour turned into a 3 hour tour.
Yeah.
It's like,
Look, this is so fascinating because I don't know if you on the call with Serena when Americo interviewed Serena about what it feels like to be an introvert. Were you on that call?
no, I was not. Mm-mm.
So Serena, who's from Melbourne, is an introvert who teaches introverts to navigate a world that's very noisy and dirty. Like introverts get a very bad rap. And even Rowan Atkinson said, you keep telling me to talk, but you know what? I never tell you to shut up. Why don't you just shut up? Have you tried it? Have you tried to shut up?
My
Instead of
wife tells
trying to
me to
make
do that.
instead of
My
trying
wife
to
says
make
that.
me talk all the time, can you just be quiet? So my wife often goes to conferences and she's away overnight, sometimes 3 or 4 nights. So I have big chunks of time in the house by myself. And I tell you what, it's not nice. It's not good. So this is not good for me. I know this. And when Serena talked about, how introverts feel a little bit of pressure to be more than they are from all the extroverts in the world pushing them to talk, I said, you introverts have a superpower that I don't have, and that is that you can sit on the couch and read a book and be by yourself. I cannot. I cannot be by myself. I know this because I'm old. I've done it. I cannot be by myself. So
Yeah.
I get you. I get you why you would go to an event, even if there's nothing to say. You just make it up because it's better than being at home by yourself.
Well, look, like I'm here instead of watching TV or sleeping, right? Because you guys feed my soul. I'm feeding myself with some clam chowder, but you guys feed
Yeah,
my
I get
soul.
you. The information is so relevant, isn't it?
I just like hanging out with you guys,
Me too. It's
and
good
you guys are
conversation.
nice. Yeah,
You know,
you guys are.
the thing I'm really inspired by. I'm really inspired by this timing. Lynn is going on a cruise next week, and I wanted to mention this. I mentioned it before, but I want to mention it again. Carol and I have travelled every year since 1994. We've had 4 weeks off because Australians get 4 weeks. We've had 4 weeks off every year since 1994. Right? We've been to 30 countries, and we take all these really great photos. And one day, we're going to put them in frames. One day. And then about a month ago, Carol said, "You know what? Why don't we? Why don't we go through all our photos? This is quite a funny story. Why don't we go through all of our photos and see if we can frame some of the good ones? Because we've taken a lot of photos. And we're trying to frame our photos, and we realize that all of the selfies that you take on your phone are done in square mode. And you can't buy square frames. Like we couldn't find any. We couldn't find any square frames. And then we tried to crop square photos, and it got cut our head off. So for years and years and years, and this is why I'm very excited about what we're talking about with Lynn, for years and years and years, we created all this content with the idea that one day we will put them in frames. But we've been taking the wrong photos for all this time because we put them on Facebook, and Facebook is square, right? And we've never put our photos in frames for 5 years. So we pulled apart the phone and we worked out where these settings are. So why I'm inspired by doing this for Lynn is that I want her to go on the cruise armed, ready to make content that is good. And I don't want her to come home and think, oh no, I used the wrong button. I created this. I was talking to this guy and he was so good. We've all had this experience where I haven't done it myself, luckily, but you've tell me this has never happened to you. You go and you do this really great interview, and then the person says, "Oh, guess what, Keith? I forgot to push record." Oh, and haven't you done? Oh no, I just bought this new camera. I didn't know how it worked. I pushed the wrong button. Well, you just lost it. Yeah, can we do it again? Yeah, all right, do it again. Does that happen to you, Lynn or Bez or Mike? Have you ever been on an interview where they forgot to record it?
Oh, I've had some experiences.
Yes? You think?
Yeah.
You've been on a call, or have you done a call and you think, geez, that was a good interview, and then you realize you forgot to record it?
Yeah, especially Zoom calls. When I do coaching calls, someone has to remind me because I usually forget to hit record. I'm getting better at it, right? Which is critical because I need to do that so I can put it where people can get access to. But many times people have to say, Bez, are you recording? Go, oh yeah, hang on, let me
I can
recap the last.
confirm that happens with Bez.
Yeah. Because
Um,
usually,
because
you're in the zone.
yeah.
Why I'm saying this is because Lynn has a very unique opportunity. We are here, and if anyone wants to join us, we are. I'm right here for you, Lynn. This is a very very important moment in your career. You're going on the annual cruise with your organization. You have the opportunity to create this massive content. You can enjoy it. You can just go there and enjoy it, which would be good too. But you can come out of that with content that you could be using for months and months and months.
Yeah, and that's
well,
that's
Keith,
the point.
I wanted to ask Lynn and you and Bez, why can't you do that with clips? Like Lynn, and I'm not even saying she has to get in front of the camera. Maybe she creates clips and then does, whether with her son or whoever, she does like a collage type of video at the end. You know, after the trip, maybe even with voiceover. Yeah, like she could narrate, or you could have AI narrate. Because I'm thinking, because I take pretty much anywhere I go with my wife or by myself half the time, I take a lot of pictures. And one of the things that you just kind of clicked in my mind is to create videos out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can.
Maybe Keith, write a song about actually wrote a song for my wife's birthday, and maybe I'll take some pictures. It's coming up this Friday. Maybe I'll take some pictures and do a video to her to the song I wrote.
No, that's very good. This is exactly what I'm actually asking everyone in the group, because Lynn has some ideas and we've been chatting about ideas, but there's a very unique opportunity here. Lynn is going on the annual conference for the Travel Agent Association. Like, there's just going to be hundreds of really cool people in the one spot. Like, I mean, this is a unique opportunity. Like, once, at the very least, once a year, maybe once in a lifetime. And so I want you to be armed with some ideas that means that you can maximize that.
Definitely. And some of the crew, I do enjoy talking to the crew members too. I think that's always fun, especially your bartenders. They're a lot of fun, and so yeah, some of the crew. If I can get with the captain, I'd love to speak to the captain as well. And then some of the suppliers, and if I can get some of the big execs, that would be great. But that might require a bit of strategy, to get them in that.
I'm so excited. I want to share this story. You may not know this story, but every year, sometimes twice a year, some site, lots of sites will say the top 100 marketers in the world today. And then they'll make this list, right? And I'm proud to say that I usually get on one of these lists at least once a year. Very proud. So what this guy did, very cool guy, what he did, this is really clever. What he did was he hired a hotel in Texas and he walked around the pool and made a 3-minute video to every one of those 100 people. Hey, Keith, I just noticed you're number 58 on the top 100 marketers in the world. My name's Chris and I'm in Texas today. Thought I'd say hello. If you get this video, do you want to yell out and tell me when you're coming here and I'll meet you there? Right? He did that with every single person on that list. He wasn't on the list then, he is now. And he says, I want to get on this list. So can you just tell me how you got on the list and let's have a chat? And he did 100 videos. Like, he hired a hotel because he did it like he was there 2 days. And he walked around the pool and he got a list of all these people he wanted to connect with. And he walked around the pool and says, "Hey, Bill, I noticed you're number 74 on the list of 100 top marketers in the world. Where are you? And have you ever been to Texas? And if you ever come and have a chat with me, because there's this cool hotel here. They've got a nice bar." So he was very, 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 very outward looking. And as a result, he got on this list the next year. And he's quite famous now. And I wanted him to be, because he went like, who would have done that? Who does that? And quite a lot of my mates said, "Mate, did you get the video? Did you get that funky video from that guy walking around the pool?" I mean, in a way, it's a bit annoying, but balls of steel, right? I mean, I wouldn't have done that. He just walked around the pool with a selfie stick. Must have taken him hours and hours and hours and hours. But as a result, and this is what will happen to you, Lynn, as a result of creating content, you go up a notch. Because I sometimes feel a bit invisible when I don't do content. Like, as I said, I would never go to an event just to talk to people. That just feels like a bit of a waste to me. I'm a bit of a show off. I want to make a video of it and tell people I'm there. I'm going to go all the way. Bought a new shirt. I had a shave. I'm wearing a suit. I'm not, that doesn't happen every day. I've got to make sure that's going somewhere. Put it on something. I've got to show off a bit. I left the house, guys. I left the house. Guess what? I'm out. I'm not confined. And so I've got to show off. And but look, I can't wait. Bez and Mike, can you just pull your brain apart and give us some ideas what Lynn can do now that we're right in this moment? She's leaving Saturday. She's going for a week on a cruise. What would you do in that scenario to maximize that experience?
Well, I'll just say, number one, Lynn, you are doing thought leadership content, right? You're giving. I've seen some of your Substack, and you're giving really good insights. So own your greatness. You are an expert in your field. Don't diminish or or downplay who you are. I think people will want, they'll want to connect with you because you're an authority in your field. Okay. And you will want to and own it. Okay. I think there's a lot of us. I've been talking to a lot of people like today. I've had back to back to back to back conversations on Zoom calls and whatnot. And, most people would be tired. I'm like, man, no wonder I'm an energy vampire. I'm just getting more energy. I'm gonna explode.
This is good. So Jim, welcome to the call. What we're doing, our friend Lynn, we're talking about the idea of making various content from conferences and things. Lynn has got this wonderful opportunity. She's a travel agent, and she's going to the annual conference of the of travel agents on a big boat. So I'm just wondering, have you been to conferences? Do you sometimes make content, or do you just go to talk to people? How do you approach conferences to maximize the time that you go there? I'm really interested in this.
Well, I really think I look at things a couple of different ways. In fact, I think I've tried to be more intentional in creating content, especially with Substack, not even necessarily to repurpose it, but more just for people to kind of share in some of the things going on, whether it's in my life or as a way to highlight others. And so this weekend, as an example, I went to uh, and I don't know how familiar you are with it, Keith, but I went to an American football game. I went to the
Wow.
Washington Commanders game Sunday night against the uh, in fact, the Seattle Seahawks. And
That's right.
before the game, I went live to show people kind of the pregame pageantry that was going on.
Yes.
And then I just stopped. And so even though that's in my drafts, I'm never going to do anything with it. I just wanted to share that. And so I did have probably 6 or 7 people jump on and watch it, a couple comments. And then I had reached out to a gentleman by the name of uh, Michael Keller that owns a company called Ariel Resupply Coffee in Charlottesville. I said, "Hey, on my way home, we're going to be we're going to be driving by your coffee shop, and would you be okay if I went live on Facebook?" He's a retired Army veteran, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." So actually, it's not Keller, it's Clemmer, and so we went live in his little roastery, and I've got the video saved, and I'm going to do something with it, but I'm not completely happy with how the audio turned out. But it was just cool to just be able to show people his little setup there and all the different brands of
Yeah.
coffee he's making. And so it was less than 10 minutes long. Once again, completely, there was no like, hey, we're going live at this time, because I didn't know what time my wife and I would get there. And so I think, to what Lynn is doing with conferences, and what I think I'm going to start doing more of, is even if you just share a few moments of what you're doing, it lets people know more of the real you, because if it's
Yep.
live, it is unscripted. I think the biggest challenge is that you've got to, I mean, work as best you can to get the tech decent, not perfect. So for me, it is bringing a mobile hotspot in with me. In fact, that's what was kind of funny, is because we go through these metal detectors when we go into these stadiums, and so I was able to walk in with my phone, my microphone, my Wi-Fi device, and they all fit in my pockets, and I didn't set off any of the detectors. So it's like, okay, I can get in with the gear that I need to do a phone live stream.
Mhm.
So that's what I think I want to start doing more of, and especially with my one Substack specifically that I have right now, which is my writing and video journey. I think it fits into that anyway, because it's not like my Substack is a very specific and niche thing. It's my journey, and this is, I'm showing you how I'm sharing video or audio content and experimenting, the good and the bad. And so now what I may do, and I had a conversation with a friend that I'm part of a mastermind with the other day, is he's not doing a Substack at the moment, but he had a podcast, and he's like a Disney travel agent. And he's
Mhm.
like, instead of feeling this pressure of I've got to put a show out every, whatever rhythm you want to call it, week or month at this time and this date, I'm just going to do it when I feel like it. And I think that in some aspects is more important. And so I may start, I mean, I'm going to start, I just haven't completely come up with the full, if you want to call it, concept, but it's going to be a Substack around the military veteran space. And it may just be, hey, today I'm going to interview, this veteran, and we're just going to talk about his story. And I might turn it into a Substack blog post. I might, you know, just share the video, might just rip the audio and make it audio only. But I'm not going to, but the subscribers are going to know, is like, oh, well, this isn't something that is going to be, on this, if you want to call it, pressure rhythmic basis of, oh, you've got to do that. It's not the whole issue. And I think you kind of talk about this sometimes, Keith. It's not the whole issue of, oh, well, I got to get all these downloads and I got to get, it's like, no, I'm just sharing a story that I hope is going to resonate with
Yep.
people. And it's going to be at my pace, and not about worrying about like, oh, well, he doesn't put stuff out enough, so I'm going to stop listening to it.
I love what you're saying, because we've talked over the course of the last 2 hours about the fact that some of us make content and then we realize we're using the wrong tech. Whereas Lynn is going on a cruise of the national conference this weekend, and we're pre-formatting this for her. So this is I'm so proud that we're all here. you're going. I want to keep this going. Do you go to conferences sometimes as well, Jim? And do you make content there, or do you mainly go to talk to people and hang out in the cafe and just make clinch the deal? How do you? I'm sure you do go to conferences, but how do you do them? Well, when you,
When I go, yeah, when I go to conferences, I will create content, but I think sometimes you do get caught up in the if you want to call it, in the networking and the catching up with people you either knew or new people, and you just like, it didn't get around to it, but then maybe like, you know what, we're gonna do a live stream later. Like I went to the Innovate Summit in Kentucky, and um, I might have did like one short live video or even a recording that I uploaded. But then after the conference, I did, do a couple live streams with some of the people that I had connected with there. And it wasn't like part of a, podcast or anything. It was more like, I think, in fact, I went live on Substack and YouTube just to kind of like, hey, here's what we got out of this conference. This is why you might want to go next year. But I think too, because I've been more focused on, I'll call it mobile tech for audio and video, that's becoming more of a thing I want to be able to do because it can be done effectively and with a lighter footprint than, say, a few years ago. And so that's something I think
it's much
we
more
should all
organic
take
and much
advantage
more
of.
doable in the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
And you can tell because the content's better because of it, isn't it? It's lighter, it's more fun, it's more funky, it's more real.
Right. And I don't know if you've had a chance to do this yet, Keith, but even one of the things I really love about Substack is that and I think Instagram will do it, but I'm not an Instagrammer. But Substack with the, app will allow you to do the camera switching while you're live. So as an example, if Lynn is on, this cruise, she could be talking. It's like, hey guys, I want you to see we got this beautiful island coming up. Flips the camera while she's still talking, and we're sharing with her what she's seeing
Ah,
and capturing
wow.
that essence, as opposed to the, where we've seen these people with their Facebook lives with their cameras, like trying to show you, like, hey, let me try to show you what I'm seeing on the other side, and they're doing all these contortions with their phone or their body, and they're kind of missing. You're like, well, I wish I could show you this, but it's almost like they're trying to take their selfie mode, and they think maybe you see it if they flip it around, but they can't. And that's where I really think Substack gives you that advantage.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Jim. That's great. That is great. I'll definitely take advantage of
And
that.
something I thought about too. I mean, even if, say for an example, if you've gone ahead and set up your Substack to have quote unquote paid subscribers, if
Mhm.
you haven't, go ahead and do it. And even if you don't, because guess what? To practice, you could go live to your paid subscribers, so nobody will see your live while you're testing it.
Bringo. This
Ah,
is
that's great. Oh my gosh. I needed to hear that. That's great, great,
that
great.
is part of the reason a lot of people don't do it. They're scared of sounding or feeling silly. But you can always delete it, and it's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
I knew you'd have some good stuff. And Lynn, I don't know if you know Jim yet, but he's done this a few times. He's a very
Yes.
good resource in this regard. And this is why I love the community. We all know that we've been there before. There's someone ahead of us. There's someone behind us, and we're all in the zone. We're all helping each other. There's no rules. There's no ego. There's no sort of impediments. We're all just equal, and we all know something the other person doesn't know. Hello, Derek. I don't think we're connected. Please connect with me if you want to come on stage. Does anyone know Derek? Is that a friend of yours, Bez or Mike or Jim?
Derek who?
Derek Espada.
Derek, I'm looking him up right now. Sounds familiar. There.
Because he's come in as a paired person.
Derek Espadas.
Mhm.
If you want,
Yeah, I'm connected to him. Hang on, let me.
you can send him the
He
link if
is
you
from
want to talk.
Tucson, Arizona. He does tax
Des is
data.
connected to everyone.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Hey, Keith, I was going to offer whatever she was going to do, maybe to have an idea of, like, if she wants a narrative, like, is she going to tell a story about the whole conference? Is she going to tell stories about the people that she's meeting? To kind of have an idea of exactly what story she wants to tell, might have it might be good to kind of think about that ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I have already been yeah, Mike, I have thought a lot about that already. So probably the way I will do it is to break it up, and I want to talk about, first of all, we'll talk about the ship, of course, because it's new, and I'm sure people will want to know what makes it special. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the dining that they have to offer, because it should be something new and different, and as well. And we'll talk about the entertainment. We'll talk about the excursions. And so that's kind of how I have it in my mind, to really. And as far as, interviewing people, I'm not unless I have an absolute. It has to be somebody good. So the easiest, I think, I as far as interviewing for for content, would probably be, honestly, the crew. But if I can get some of the suppliers, or maybe the vice president, or that would be golden. So we'll see. Who knows? You never know, right? But I do, the way I see it, as far as what I plan on doing, absolutely, is more about the ship and what it has to offer, and the
Yeah,
experience you can look forward to.
I mean, it's going to sound obvious, but it's about your audience, right? So if it's for travelers, what does a traveler want to know? Well, they absolutely want to know about the ship,
Mhm.
where it goes generally, what they can expect.
Mhm.
I think it would be great, to your point, to have an interview with particularly the captain, but the
Mhm.
crew.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of behind the scenes a little, or day in the life of a of a crew member or something.
Right.
Um, that would be kind of interesting. Something that maybe they wouldn't necessarily get to see if they were
Yeah.
on a cruise
Behind
themselves.
yeah, behind the scenes thing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely. Love that.
so I caught half of what Jim was saying, but was he saying there was a special feature that, um, Jim, you said that Substack does that doesn't let you don't have to contort yourself or whatever. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
you
What?
you can literally, while you're live, and if you go look at one of the articles I wrote on how to go live with the app, you can literally just press the camera button and it'll flip the camera to the back camera. So
Oh,
you can
okay,
flip
okay.
back and forth from front to back.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
so
Mhm.
that's what I did with Michael when I was at his coffee, roastery. I wouldn't really call it a coffee shop. Is I started out, I had my face, then I flipped it. He's talking, then he kind of took us on a little tour. And so because we were using two wireless mics, he could keep talking and I was able to show what he's talking about. And then,
Mm.
at the end, I kind of came back to me. It's like, hey, hope, you guys, found this, fun, make sure to, check out his website, order some, of his great coffee, and that's it. And so it was about an 8-minute live stream. So even in theory, once I clean up the audio a little bit, I could actually put it on LinkedIn uh, as a video because it's under 10 minutes. And so,
Mm.
but even Lynn, if you felt like, hey, maybe you don't have the internet power, this is the other thing people don't always think about with Substack is you could still record with your phone camera, just record
Mhm.
like, just hit the video button and record. Well, you can upload that video to your Substack and then it'll still transcribe it. I think it'll still create clips out of the video. And then you could, write a blog post with video about whatever it is, or, combine them into, a series of maybe you've got some different clips of different things. So it doesn't have to be live
Yeah.
to still make that video powerful on Substack, if especially with what you're looking to do as far as educating people about
Mhm.
the ship and the travel. So but that's where I think that a lot of times if we record with our phones by themselves, it won't let us flip. At least I know the iPhone won't. You have to be in some sort of an app that will allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I just love this discussion. Just the idea of uploading a video at a later time, it's actually a lot more convenient because you don't know what sort of signal strength you're going to get in the spot you're in.
Mhm.
Whereas if you record straight to your the phone, you can then go back to the room and use the boat Wi-Fi to upload later when the signal is better. And Substack does really good work when you actually upload the video. It really helps. Like it does a lot of great stuff, including making smaller clips. Do you use shorts, Jim? Have you been exploring the shorts or the 916 feature on YouTube and the others? Has that been something that you can relate to?
Well, what I did do is I did take a portion of a live stream I did at a veterans event, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I interviewed a gentleman that was talking about one of his experiences with this organization that helped him recover from a stroke. And I took that clip from Substack, which was about 2 minutes, and I used it on LinkedIn with the captions. And so I thought that was very useful. I didn't necessarily put it on YouTube because for me, my specific YouTube channel is not necessarily related to some of the things I'm doing on Substack, because my YouTube channel is more about educating people about digital marketing and tech.
Of course.
And
That
so,
is actually a very good point.
yeah, so I think it fits on LinkedIn because LinkedIn for me, right, it's my profile, right? It's like, hey, here's some of the things I'm doing when I'm out and about. And I'm looking at, and I think if you follow some of these, I'll call them Substack, call them power users, they're using LinkedIn as a way to get people over to their Substack. So I think that is kind of how I'm looking at it. And I think even as you're, starting to see, Keith, where sometimes the way that I guess we could say, right, the LinkedIn struggle can be real because of their algorithms and their constant, they're not sure what they want to be today. So my goal really is to get people over to Substack from LinkedIn, and then YouTube is becoming more of like my educational video hub. And then of course my next step is the school community where we can all, where people can hang out at any time and not have to worry about algorithms and things like that.
I love this. And while we're talking about school and communities, I've been doing quite a lot of research and thinking about. I haven't turned my monetization on. I've decided I'm going to do that when I get to 100. I just want to get that sort of round figure. But I'd be very interested to know how people use the monetization feature and what levels they offer. I've got a very clear understanding what I'm going to offer. But what tell us about how you do school? What do people get for the various levels of school? Does it have levels or is it just the one?
They
Mention.
just released last week the ability to create, and I actually did a video. It's on YouTube. It's called Paid Tiers. So you can have just a free group where you can join the the person's community and whatever the topic. Mine is called the Authentic Video Academy. My friend Madeline Scalar has got one called Social Media and AI Shortcuts, and she goes live, and Bez usually participates every Thursday at 1, where she's talking about some of the latest things going on with AI and social media. But now they've come up with what they call a freemium, where you can have a free level. You can then have like if you want to call it tier one, might be just like your quote unquote paid level, where you may say, hey, if you're in this level, once a month, we're going to have, in a sense, because their live streaming is very similar to Zoom, where you're invited to the Zoom, or you can make it a webinar. And then the VIP level might be where they get like even more, maybe you meet with them once a week, right? Where the people at the level below, they get a once a month. Then you can have a one-time charge. And then, of course, because you have the classroom capability within your school, you can have, if you want to call it, free and paid classes. So it really gives you a lot of options. Or you can have one that's just straight off paid from the get-go, but you can start them out with a 7-day free trial, and you can, I think, choose to charge whatever you choose. I mean, I haven't set up my tiers yet, but I guess in theory you could say, hey, for $1 a month, you can join my community. And of course, I think I haven't played with it yet, because I'm using the $9 a month plan. But I think if you go to the $99 a month plan, I think you can make other people affiliates for your school. Not
And Jesse,
100%
you've
sure
got
on
some thoughts on this. I see in the comments that you've got some things you wanted to test. I know you're a big fan of school. Is that what you wanted to talk about, or you mentioned here that you've got some ideas that you want to test?
Yeah. It actually was a different thing. But let me get on school. Then I'll Jim, since I have you here, I wanted to. But I was actually thinking about you. Oh man, I need to reach out to Jim. I just was been back to back calls from noon all the way till about 9 o'clock tonight. So okay, so I'm testing the $99 version because I got 3 months free because of the Alex Hermosi thing. And I was getting a little frustrated because they didn't has had release a subscription tiers, and then I got approached by another platform to be a brand ambassador, and they look really really good. And then today I noticed I got an email from somebody and said, "Hey, I'm gonna," and I know they're on schools. I clicked on it and I noticed they had tiers. Like, oh my goodness! So I looked on my account. Um, Here's the thing, because how I have my programs are all different. um, I still am not getting the flexibility I want. I sort of get the feeling that you have to. Okay, so let's say I have a free group, right? And the next, I'm just going up to $49, and then the next one is just if they pay all of it in a year, whatever model. And I don't see Jim. I don't know if you noticed this, but let's say you had a whole different cohort that was like a program for a year, and you charge a different price. And then you had a 12-week program, which was a different price point. And because I don't see that flexibility to have, when I see tiers, I see tiers that are sequential in nature. That's what I've seen, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to do some more testing. But I was back there and looking at my dashboard, and I wasn't seeing the flexibility I was looking for,
Well,
even after they did.
I think to your point, what I would probably do in that situation is, I think you're correct from the perspective of their tiers are either monthly or annual or one-time charges. But if I was going to create a 12-week, well, if you want to call it mastermind course, whatever, I would make that a class, and I would charge for the class, and it would last
Yeah.
for that period of time. And so then when the class is over, they either going back to the free tier, or maybe and there may be a way to kind of, if you want to call it, coupon them to say, hey, they get to be in my lower level price tier for 6 months before they gotta either re-up or do before they get charged. I don't know if that's there yet, but like I said, since they literally have released it within the last 2 weeks, I think what I like about school in general is they do things in very measured, deliberate things and aren't trying to be all things to all people in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I noticed that. I just no, see, I those workarounds you mentioned, they're there. They were there before they released the tiers, but it has some, because then basically I need to, if I go to mine, I need to create like shoot, let me pull mine up. It forces me to create like you said, a class, but then a group. I've done where if you go to my class, classroom, I've got a 12-week early career. I've got another one that's a 12-week career sprint, that was another cohort. So you start to develop like categories. I think maybe they are called classes, but mine aren't called classes. I have different names, but anyways, you can develop buckets or something like, and call them whatever you want. So that is a workaround. But then the workaround, like, uh, which is okay. I'm gonna bail outside of school because some of my programs, they're significant investment, and I don't, I can send them through another system I have, an ACH, and it only costs me 1%. Or hey, you want to mail me a paper check, which is Keith's favorite. I won't charge you any processing fee. What, you know? Anyways, I digress.
Well, I
Oh,
think
but
I think the thing that I would just warn you about, Bez, is don't overthink it. I think it's more about, keeping the engagement of your community. And I ultimately look at all this stuff. I work with a guy, and kind of what I'm working on, what I look school as is I'm building a stadium. And so the people that are in the fourth, level of Truist Park, I'm basically letting them in for free. The people that want to be in the third level, that may still be on school. They're like that level one tier. The
Mhm.
people that want to be on the second deck is the next tier. And the people that want to be in the Delta Club or the premium seats, that might not even be on school. And so the closer you get to me, the more it costs. But I'm still
Yeah.
going to provide stuff to people. And my thing is, and I waited a long time before I even created something like my school, which is really still very much in beta. That's why I don't necessarily, promote it yet, is that it's more about being deliberate in what you want to do, and not I'm not looking at it as like, oh, I gotta do this now or I'm gonna miss out. And so I think for me it's more about, and I don't know how Keith and Lynn feel. I am just becoming more and more anti Facebook. And I know that's where a lot of people spend all their group time, and that's where they're building stuff. And I never really did. And I don't think LinkedIn works that way either. So I'm like, Substack and school is my building my content and then building my community on school. And then if I go beyond that, great. But that's not, um, I guess in some aspects, maybe to Keith, it's like, I just want to help people get better. And so it's not, the focus it isn't always like, oh, well, I got to have a way that I can do, this way and that way. It's like, sometimes just keep it simple. And uh, if somebody really wants to work with you on what you call like a big ticket program, then you do a big ticket program. But I also don't necessarily want to be doing a lot of one-to-one work.
Right. I do mine mainly in a group. But yeah, I just I'm thinking of taking my school community, going down to the $9 one, and maybe even opening up for free or for $5. I don't know. I'm still thinking that through. I only have 9 people in my community, so uh, that's it. It's just and I've done the payment outside of, and I know we're not supposed to do that at a school, but just sort of work. They were already paying me through PayPal or through I have another system that I use, so I didn't feel like you know making them switch and stuff like that. That's working. But yeah, I get your point. Real quick before Keith goes on to the next person, because I know Keith shares the mic. I want to test something with you because I want to run a career fair on November the 19th, and I want to see if with StreamYard I could actually do this. So I don't know if you have some time tomorrow just for a few minutes. I'd like to check something out with you.
Yeah, I should be able to have a chat about that.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll text you.
All right.
Did we lose Keith?
I know we're here. I'm here. We've been going for 3 hours. I just love this. What actually happened today? I'm very excited about what happened. You guys have gone to daylight saving, so I did a show at 10 o'clock my time, which would be 6 o'clock for you, and no one came. No one. So I figured, okay, well, that must be because it's too early. And so I actually did a show 2 hours later, around about daylight saving time. And here we are. We're still going after 3 hours. So if you get your mojo, you can just keep going. But what I might do is it's about 3:30 now. I might finish up and have a bit of a late lunch, and we'll get ready for wifey coming home soon. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to give everyone a chance to wrap up and just give us a bit of a sense of what we can do with LinkedIn, how they're using it. Sorry, how we're doing Substack. How are we using Substack, and how do you think we can move this forward? Because people will watch this show. A lot of people are watching this show having never used Substack before. So I'll start with you, Jim. How are you using Substack? And let's list out the great features that it has that makes it unique.
So I think for me, the first thing is the ability to take a video, whether it's recorded or live, and then uploading that video, getting the transcript, being able to decide if you want to, even use AI to maybe help you summarize what the full article was. And then what I'm doing with a lot of my Substack articles is I'm turning it into a LinkedIn newsletter, but to see the video, they have to come over to Substack.
Yep.
And so that's how I'm looking to drive more people over to my Substack publication. And then taking some of those clips, like I said, out of maybe some of these lives from Substack and making that a LinkedIn post with the video, since that seems to be something they want us to do. And, it's kind of the old thing, like with Facebook as well. It's like, hey, this is what we really want you to do this month, and this is going to get you more engagement. So that's kind of how I'm looking at the Substack LinkedIn connection. But I think even my link now in my, if you want to call it, up at the top of my LinkedIn is my Substack.
Yeah. It's my main link on LinkedIn as well. What about you, Lynn? I'll give you right a reply here. What do you think are the main things that excite you about LinkedIn and about Substack, and what are you going to do this weekend?
Yeah, so what I will start with the pre-cruise portion, and which will be in Fort Lauderdale, and the reason why I want to do some on that as well is because that's really your first stop before you board your ship, and there's so many great things to do and so many great restaurants, museums, you name it. And so I want to share a little bit of that, and that's kind of going to be a test. So that's where I will kind of do some testing first from for Substack, and I'm going to just go live. I'm just gonna do it. And so good or bad, we'll see how it goes. But
No,
I think it'll be fun.
you've got to begin.
Yeah,
You've got to begin, and it doesn't matter that the first one's not so good. I mean, the Beatles didn't come straight out of the truck. You know, the first couple of Beatles songs weren't that good either. You know, when they were called the Quarrymen or whatever they were called, in their very, very early days, they had some songs, but you wouldn't buy them, and they were pretty popular. But you know, when the Beatles became the Beatles because they just played 3 nights a week for like years and years and years and years and years, so they didn't come out, you know, doing the thing straight away. Good example in a way. So you got to have the courage to begin, and then once you begin, you just have fun with it, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the beauty of the area, you know, maybe if it is bad, it will. I'll have some really nice surroundings to back me up. So, but yeah, I think it'll be great. I'm not really, you know, I'm not overthinking it too much. Boy, at this stage in my life, you know, I've been there, done that. This is really something that, you know, this career path that I'm on and I really love and enjoy, I'm just going to look forward to sharing it. And so, you know, follow me and you stay tuned. You know, there's going to be some good content coming your way.
I love it. And what about you, Bez? What do you think of Substack? What do you think are the main things you love about it?
Well, I'm a newbie and I'm experimenting, but I'm sort of looking like at Jim and some other people. What's her name too? That's redhead. Jim, what's her name? She goes by Redhead Media or something like
Rachel.
that on Madeline's. Rachel, yeah. And then there's some other people that, man, they're killing it on Substack. So I'm seeing what they're doing, trying to strategize a little bit more. And but what I'm seeing also is on LinkedIn, LinkedIn newsletters are a dud, from what everybody I've been talking to. No analytics, no, people don't they just accept and they never look at the but what people are doing, that's a strategy that's working on LinkedIn, is instead of the newsletter being a newsletter, it's sort of more like a landing page. So the newsletter feature they're using as a landing page to take them over to Substack or wherever they want. And that's, you know, what I've seen some people do better on LinkedIn with their newsletter feature, because it's really not good. But love Substack. I see a lot of potential, and I want to encourage Lynn or Jim or anybody who wants to. And he's going to know about this. Do you know our friend Jennifer Navarrete kicks off in November?
She's already doing it. Isn't it started?
Yeah, it's NADPAD Pomo, National Podcasters Post.
Are you part
Month.
of that? Tell us what you're doing.
And well, I told her I was going to just jump in. So it's 5 days in, so I got to catch up. So I'm thinking of taking this here stream we did and chopping it. Nah, just joking. But I've got some stuff. But yeah, even Lynn, even if it's like 5 minutes and you want to video record and audio, you can actually post a podcast here on Substack. And because you're doing it, you know, you're excited, you want to do that live stream and everything. Look, once you start doing it and you do it for 30 days, you're like, you'll love it or you'll hate it. And if you love it, you'll catch the bug, and
We'll get your mojo.
there's no stopping
Let
you
me
now.
just pick up
Yeah.
on people if people haven't heard of this. NADPAD POMO, National Podcasting Post Month by Jennifer Navarrete. She's got this really, really, really cool idea that if you've ever wanted to have a podcast, why don't you try in November to join the crowd of people doing it? And the goal is that everyone in that community tries to do 30 posts in 30 days. You don't have to do one every day. You can do 10 in a day and then have a break, or you can do everything at the end. But the goal for that particular challenge is to do 30 podcast inspired episodes in 30 days, starting from the 1st of November to the 30th of November. That's the goal. And with that in mind, and I'm happy to admit this, Repurpose 3030 was based on that principle, but I'm starting it on the 18th so that it's not clashing. And my inspiration is 30 pieces of content of any type within 30 days or so. And I'm doing shows about that. But Jennifer Navarrete wants you to become a podcaster. She wants you to practice the audio component. And of course, podcasting now means video, which does piss me off. But, that's what the word now means. So the word podcasting does include video now in the 2020s. Someone changed the rules. And so if you do a video, it is a podcast, apparently. So you might as well. Do you know Jennifer? You could probably connect with her when you get back.
Yeah.
Do you know if you can join late?
Yeah, you can join whenever. Yeah, there's no I mean, she had a really emotional she started on November the 2nd, and she had a very emotional one because the founder of is it Blueberry or it's a podcast hosting platform, and it's one of the OGs. He passed away unexpectedly within the last 30 days, and she had interviewed him and actually had clips, and yeah, it's pretty interesting.
They are one of the OGs, aren't they? Blueberry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
anyway,
anybody can join.
It's very good. We're all together. We're all together helping each other out. It's not a challenge. I don't like challenges, so to speak, because I'm already pretty stressed. So, but within 30 days, you can create 30 pieces of content. And, there's a group of people doing it. So you've got plenty of people to ask. And you've got a whole lot of other people who can help you. So it's actually a good decision, really. It's a very good decision. I've known Jennifer for a very long time, and I'm happy to help her with this. And my version is directly inspired by hers, Repurpose 3030, which starts on the 18th of November and goes through really till Christmas. But look, we've been going 3 hours. I reckon that's probably a good wrap. The show is going to be based on the daylight saving time, so we have got some shows coming up. So keep in mind that we've all changed our timing. I might have to do that as well. But we've had 3 hours of fun. This show will be a replay on YouTube now. I'm creating a playlist on YouTube. So it goes live on Substack, and the replay will be on YouTube. I'm in the process of getting my head around what I'll do if I monetize Substack. And I think what I'll do is that people that subscribe to my Substack will get access to the replay. If you don't, you don't. Right? The reason to subscribe. Right? If you don't subscribe, you can't get access to the replay. That's fair. And people that are on the show, they get the replay anyway because they're on the show. They get the special privileges. But I'm playing around with what those 3 levels might mean to me, and I haven't really fully actioned that yet. But as from now, there is a replay on YouTube, and that'll action as soon as I push the button and push it to the playlist. So, Lynn, you have a fantastic time. When you get back, let me know, and we'll do a special show for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And thank you all for all the good information. So helpful.
You should be back by the time Repurpose starts. That's 18th of November. You should be back then, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, I will. Mm-hmm.
So we'll use we might use you as an inspiration. You'll have so much content to play with, won't you?
Yes, I plan on having a bunch. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go. So you guys go and enjoy your night. Thanks so much for being part of this. We've had 7 people on Substack helping out, and then there'll be a group of people watching the replay on YouTube. So I won't play a dedicated song. I'll end the vibe with a little bit of a theme that I like, 7 seconds, and then I'm just getting hungry. Like it's 3:30. I forgot to eat lunch. So sometimes I just forget that I'm a real person with a body that needs food, and I got to get out of this chair. So I'll play this and we'll go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your inspiration and all your words of wisdom. And let's keep it going. Let me know how I can help you, and I'll talk to you on the flip side.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
See you later.
Good night, John Boy. Good night.
Right.
Yep.